Reversion Council, so we can fall asleep.
Madam Clerk, we ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to today's regular meeting. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council regular meeting of February 22nd, 2022 at 7 p.m. Councilman Abdulaziz. Present. Councilwoman Khan. Councilman Jackson. Councilman Khalid.
Present.
Councilman Mendez.
Good evening, Paterson. Good evening, Madam Clerk. Present.
Councilman Mims. Councilman Rivera. Present. Councilman Velez. Present. Madam President.
Present.
Madam President and honorable council members, this evening we have with us to render the prayer Reverend William Honoree, and he's from the Everlasting Life Ministry Church in Paterson, and also Honorable Councilman Alex Mendez will lead us in the flag salute. Everyone at this time, please rise for the prayer and the flag salute. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm going to read the scripture first, please, and I won't be long, okay? I will not be long. A time for everything. Everything that happens in this world happens at a time God chooses. He sets the time for birth and the time for death, a time for planting and a time for pulling up, a time for killing and a time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building. He set the times for sorrow and the time for joy, the time for mourning and the time for dancing, the time for making love and the time for not making love, the time for kissing and the time for not kissing. He sets the time for finding and the time for losing, the time for saving and the time for throwing away, the time for tearing and the time for mending, the time for silence and the time for talk. He sets the time for love and the time for hate, the time for war and the time for peace. What do we gain from all our work? Oh, Father God, we come in the spirit of love, thanking you, Lord, for this day. 2/22/22. Lord, we just ask you to look over this house, Lord. Look over this council, its members, and we ask you to pour the spirit of righteousness into them, Lord. Lord, we ask you to look over the government of Paterson, Lord, and we ask for that same thing, a spirit of righteousness, Lord. Lord, we come thanking you for this day once again. Lord, we ask you to look out for the citizens of Paterson, Lord, your people, your children, Lord. Lord, the city is nothing without its people, Lord. So, Lord, we ask you to help them, Lord. We come thanking you, Lord, but also asking for your help, Lord. Lord, Paterson has grown in the last 3, 4 years, 5 years. So, Lord, we just ask that you help these people out, Lord, that you help move us out of poverty, Lord, that you help move this great city out of poverty, Lord, that you help move this great city to a new place, Lord. We have all these people here, Lord, looking for work. So we ask you to find them employment, Lord. We know all things are possible with you, Lord. So, Lord, just continue, Lord, to be God, to love us, Lord, and to share your love with us, Lord. We ask you to pour your love into us abundantly, Lord, that we can go out and share it with others. Lord, just continue to love us, Lord, and we will be great. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
At this time, we'll remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops and those that have lost. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Councilman. Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My apologies. At this time, we'll remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops and for those who have lost loved ones. You may have a seat. Yeah, Madam Clerk, where is our officer? Madam BA? Okay. So, Madam Clerk, we have Councilman Abdelaziz has a presentation.
Let's do the statement.
You want to do the statement of compliance first?
Yes, before
Okay.
the presentation.
Madam Clerk, can you please read the statement of compliance?
Yes, Madam President. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2021 to 2022. Meeting date February 22nd, 2022, time 7 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2021 to 2022 on or about July 1, 2021. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2021 to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Kiscader International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and tap into Paterson in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was prominently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this type. 4. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5. A copy of the schedule of regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President.
Thank you very much. So right before we begin our meeting, last week, due to COVID and all that's been going on, we were not able to have the normal program that we have for Black History Month. And so last week, I'll take full ownership. Unfortunately, not every council member got the information to have their honoree come. And so Councilman Abdelaziz was very upset. And is Evelyn Shaw here? Yes, okay. I'm looking straight at you. And so Councilman Kalik was the other councilman that also did not have their honoree here. And so at this time, I'm gonna pass it along to, it should be the second ward first and then the sixth, but we're gonna, no. Councilman Abdelaziz.
So, could you hear me? Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, Council President, thank you. The second and sixth ward were left out last week, and we appreciate you taking ownership of. We celebrate the whole month, Black History, and the whole year. So, today, we are here to honor and recognize someone that pretty much doesn't need no introduction to the city of Paterson. And it showed in January. I always say this council can't agree on anything. Even if we want to order a pie pizza, we can't pick the same restaurant. But when I put this nominee forward to honor, even my colleagues that I probably don't agree on all the time actually said, Al is right on this, because he's such a great person and a role model to the residents and the kids in the city of Paterson. And today, I just want to say a few words in recognizing our battalion chief, Michael Hall. Please stand up. As Vice President of the Bronze Heat, he's been honored as an organization, but I felt today, in this month, we should recognize him as an individual. He goes above and beyond, not only as a Paterson fireman and as a leader within our fine fire department, but all the community work that he does for our city. So, Chief, keep up the good work, and I'm glad to honor you. Congratulations. You come up.
Councilman, bring them to the middle.
Oh, you gotta go. Yeah, Chief, you gotta give a speech. As you know, in the 6th Ward, they say we go a little extra, so we got you something on behalf of the 6th Ward residents, a nice plaque that you can hang up, and it says, in celebration of Black History Month, we recognize Battalion Chief Michael Hall for your dedication and commitment to the city of Paterson, February 2022. Congratulations. You guys want to come up? I would like to call our council members, since he missed the group picture last week. Chief, I think they did on purpose. They always take it out in the 6th Ward, you know? So. It's on, yeah. Councilwoman Mims. Where's Councilwoman Cox? Shall we wait for her? There she is. There she is. Right here, Councilwoman. You're cool. I'm going to let her come over right next to me. Right here.
Yeah, straight from Wakanda.
I'll save you a spot. Let's move over, Fred. Come over here. Let's. Before she yells at me all meeting that I was sick.
Mike is here.
Here, Chief, you get the mic.
Thank you. God bless. Good night. No. Just a few words. I don't do this for this stuff. You know, I was born and raised in this city. You know, I got my mother and family sitting over there, my wife right there, my Bronte family. I was born here. I was raised here. I'm providing for my family from this city. I hate when people say when I'm out, you know, of this city and people go, I can't stay in Paterson. I'm the first person to speak up because not everybody in Paterson is bad people. They're not. There's a lot of good people in this city. This city has a lot of good in it, a lot of history in this city, and I defend it to the death of me. No matter where I am, it doesn't matter. My mother tells me I did grow up, you know, excited about being a fireman. I don't remember it, but if she said it, it's true. But, you know, it's the one good thing about working in this city and helping out the community is like the kids get to see somebody from here, you know, got to do this and be in this position and be here, and it makes a difference to them. I know it does. When I go around to the schools, I speak to the kids, and the kids, you know, they get a kick out of that, knowing that somebody from here, born and raised here, could get to this type of position in this city and just going in and helping people, you know, at their worst time. You know, I know some people get pissed off at us when during a fire and they think it took us an hour and it was 3 minutes, but, you know, what do you, what do you expect when your house is burning? I get it, but we're there to help. I'm there to help. You know, my guys who work with me, you know, Captain Hawkins over there, Terrell Jones, Big Herm over there, Rerun. Love you, brother. Chief Lamar, Mr. Dixon, actually, don't try to hide. His wife Nadine right there, Janice, man, and over there, Letty, the best dispatcher in the city. I don't care what nobody says. And my new guy, Muhammad, and Mr. Davis. But yes, I love working for this city. I love being here. I got a little bit of time left. I'm gonna do the best I can to keep working hard and helping out the citizens of this city.
Congratulations. Councilman Khalid. Councilman Khalid.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of good people, my honoree is a grassroots Paterson resident. He's not a chief, she's not a chief of anything. But if you read her bio, you will touch everybody's heart. My honorees, please stand up, Miss Evelyn Shaw.
Evelyn Shaw.
Okay, let me read her bio. Evelyn Shaw is a long-term resident of City of Paterson. She is married to Mr. Murray Shaw and is a proud mother of 5 children. Mrs. Shaw was a student at William Paterson College, where she hoped to pursue an educational degree. Despite whom health-related obstacle, Evelyn decided to focus her passion for children outside the school system and focus on children's shelters. Evelyn earned a license as a therapeutical treatment home parent and has focused on healing children who have been through traumatic and stressful experience. As a therapeutical treatment home parent, Evelyn is able to administrate therapeutic medication to children out of her home, and she has cared for 10 children. Also, she has adopted 3 in order to provide them with permanent home. Her adopted children have made her proud and grown into being young adults and ambitions and career-driven goals. She's like a role model to me. I hope the way she cares for our children, we all should care for them as well. Congratulations, Ms. Shaw. You gonna say a few words?
She doesn't want
Thank you.
to.
And let's take a picture.
Well, I really didn't expect this because what I do from my heart. And I just thank you because taking care of the children is a part of my ministry. I love it. I witnessed my adopted kids going to college and graduating with bachelor's degrees. And I'm trying to help 3 more in college. So I thank you very much.
Come on, let's take a picture with everyone. And she's an ear and eyes for me in the second word as well. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
You were.
Okay, very well. Now let us get to business. There was another honoree. The mayor's honoree is not here. He was acknowledged, though, at another city function that occurred, I think, 2 weeks ago. So, council members, we are now going to move forward with city business. Today is the day to take action on the items that we thoroughly discussed last week in workshop. So, Madam Clerk, at this time, I'd like to take a motion for payment of bills.
So payment of bills for February 22nd, 2022. We have total payments equaling $57,488.40, of which $5,086,223 is for the Board of Education, $13,288,026.63 is for the county taxes, and we also have a payroll in this bills list of $4,567,960.93.
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, moved by Councilman Rivera, second by Councilman Kalik. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on payment of bills.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for payment of bills in the amount of $24,057,488.40. Councilman Abdelaziz? Yes. Councilwoman Khan? Councilman Jackson?
No.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes. Councilman
Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
So as it's already been stated, the $24,057,488.40 payment on tonight, $4,567,960.93 is to pay our employees, and then there is a big payment that is going out of this to the school board. I will never want our employees not to get paid. My vote is yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Vote is yes.
Councilman Velez?
The reason I'm voting based on the statement above of Councilwoman Mims just stated, you have responsibility in those. I just want to inform the public also that this is a payment of $272,000 and change made to Suburban Disposal with the poor service we get from them. So my vote is yes, based on the statement that Councilwoman Mims said, but our collective company have to do a better job with our city. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Khan?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 8 in favor, 1 against. Payment of bill in the amount of $24,057,488.40 is hereby adopted.
Council President?
Thank you very much. Councilman,
Very quickly, I thought we had agreed that we would, moving forward, we were adopting the practice of separating the bills list for suburban garbage collection. I think it would expedite things, but it would also give those of us an opportunity to vote on it without having to explain that we're not voting in favor, because most of the members here tonight, members of the public here tonight, don't understand that I've consistently protested voting on any bills list that pays this garbage company that renders such poor service. So I thought, through the chair, Mr. Finance Chair, I thought this was a practice moving forward, that we were going to have a separated bills list for this garbage company, and but obviously it's not.
Councilman Rivera. Thank
No.
you, Councilman Jackson.
Yes, that was a request by the councilman, but the council don't put together, the payment of bills, the administration does. So maybe for the next meeting, just separate it for the councilman, if you wish to.
I'm sorry, Council President, if I may very quickly, I want
Councilman
to
Jackson.
dispel the false narrative that the councilman just portrayed there. This agenda is controlled totally by the council. When council members make requests, it's brought forward the way we request it. If the chairman of the finance committee is not in favor of that request, then it could be overridden, but the administration does not control this agenda. This council does. So any item that we vote on should be presented the way we request for it to be, unless council members are aligning themselves with the administration and allowing for this to pass. But I made a request so we can separate the bills list, so we can hold this garbage company accountable. We did it one time, and then hence moving forward, we want to point the finger at the administration. I'm not asking the BA or anyone from the administration. I'm asking members of this council, and particularly the finance chair, why haven't we had this done the way the council requested it?
So, Council President.
Councilman Rivera, and
Can I make a suggestion so this discussion don't happen again and the public don't have to go through this? Any council member could make an amendment to this bills list when it's presented. So in the future, if any of us want something separated from the bills list, we just got to request the amendment on the floor. You don't have to be just the solid waste. It could be anything that you wish to separate from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So at this time, we are going to take the, I believe we only have one second reading ordinance. Madam Clerk will do that, and then we'll do the first reading, and then we will address the renewal licenses. Okay? Madam Clerk?
Yes,
second
Madam
reading?
President. This time, our next item on the agenda is our second reading ordinance, which is item number 1, and it reads an ordinance establishing commercial loading zone on Sparrow Street between Highland Street and Butler Street, Department of Public Works, Ordinance 22018.
So move. Council President?
Second.
1 second.
Second.
We need to do an
1
amendment.
second. Moved by Councilman Velez and second by Councilwoman Mims. Discussion?
Yes, Council President, I just want to amend this ordinance to reflect the time. I would have to change from Monday to Friday, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., requested by Councilwoman Ruby Cotton in the last meeting, so I had to do the amendment on the floor.
So there's a motion for an amendment on second reading,
Correct.
Second.
second by Councilwoman Mims.
The amendment should be reflecting that the loading zone will be established from Monday to Friday only, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., as is listed in the place that it's going to be established.
So, Madam Clerk, I'd like a roll call with the amendment.
Yes, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call on the amendment on item number 1 to, I thought the time was 9 to 5. Is it 8 to 5 p.m.?
Correct.
It's supposed to be 9 to 5.
9 to 5, sorry, yes.
Okay, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yes, correct.
Councilman Abdelaziz? Yes. Councilwoman Khan?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say to the DPW Chair to my council colleagues who amended this, because I think that we need to be consistent with all loading zones that we're going to put in place. So thank you, council members, for doing this amendment. My vote is yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
That proved that we could get along on the floor, like Councilman Abdelaziz just stated earlier. Yes, we get along and we approve things like we're supposed to do in business. My vote is yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 9 in favor, none against. Item number 1 is hereby adopted with the amendment.
Okay.
Madam President,
There's
I
a
have to
public
do...
hearing.
No, at this time, I just want to put something on the record. Corporation Council, did you want to handle that portion of this ordinance, please?
Go over there and tell them.
I know there's a public hearing on item number 1.
There is Corporation Council going to speak. Due to... Go ahead, Corporation.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. What specifically do you need legal advice on?
Madam President, honorable council members, due to the substantial changes in this ordinance, it's required that we revert it back to first reading.
Yeah, Madam Clerk is correct. The Law Department has conferred, thank you, Madam Clerk, for that assist, if you will. But we've conferred, and due to the fact that the change requested can be determined to be a substantial change, it needs to revert back to first reading. Thank you, Madam Clerk and Council President.
Okay.
Madam President, you want a motion to
Yes.
pull this off the agenda?
Not to take it off, I will do a roll call so that I can have it,
It goes back to first
It
reading.
goes right back
so
to the
that I
start.
can, yes, I'll revert it to first reading.
Okay.
May I have a motion and a second?
So move.
Moved by Councilman Mendez and second, I didn't hear the second, second by Councilman Velez.
Okay. Roll call to revert item number 1, ordinance back to first reading with the changes 9 to 5 and Monday through Friday. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Okay, I'm a little fired up right now.
Yep.
Council President, I can't hear myself think. There's music blasting from across the street. Could we get somebody to tell that store to turn it down, please?
Well, I asked-
Madam Clerk, somebody, Madam BA?
Madam BA, I did
We
ask.
turned down the
was
window, we closed the windows. It's hot, and I don't think, this is ridiculous. We expect our residents not to do it, but I can still hear the music blasting. So my vote is yes. Could we please rectify that?
Thank you. Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, but, you know, we had an extensive conversation about this. I didn't know that we needed to go back to first reading, because then we could have just done that anyhow. Last week, we thought that we could come out second reading and just amend it on the floor and then vote on it, but we still gotta go back to first reading. So we could have just went back to first reading anyhow. I mean, that's my understanding. I thought we could vote on a second reading. That's what I thought, Corporation Council.
Corporation Council?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you, Council President, and thank you, Councilwoman Kyle, for that question. You are correct. We had initially thought that the change requested was not a substantial enough change. However, upon further review and research, we determined that it was a substantial enough change to require it to go back to the first reading and restart it.
Thank you, Corporation Council. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
To address Councilman Abdelaziz, I called 714 to have Paterson headquarters to shut down the music. They haven't done it yet, so that's the response we got. My vote is yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 9 in favor, none against. Item number 1 will be reverted back to first reading, which will be held at the next regular meeting of March 8, 2022 at 7 p.m. due to the substantial changes in this ordinance, and the changes are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, I'd like to take first reading ordinances 2, 3, and 4
Okay.
in
Next
that order.
Sure. Next item is our first reading ordinance. No public hearing is required. Item number 2, guarantee ordinance of the City of Paterson in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, fully, unconditionally, and irrevocably securing the payment of the principal of and interest on revenue bonds, Ward Street Parking Garage Project, and any notes issued in anticipation thereof in an amount not to exceed $32 million to be issued by the Parking Authority of the City of Paterson for the purpose of providing additional security therefore and determine certain other matters in connection therewith.
So
Department
moved.
of Finance.
Second.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez and second by Councilwoman Mims. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Item number 2, we had an extensive conversation in workshop, and the council agreed to move it to first reading. So, Madam Clerk, roll call on item number 2 for first reading.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on item number 2 for first reading. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes.
The vote is 9 in favor, none against. Item number 2 is hereby adopted on first reading. Second reading and public hearing will be held at the next regular meeting of March 8, 2022 at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Item number 3.
Next item is item number 3 for first reading. No public hearing is required. Guarantee ordinance of the City of Paterson, the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, fully, unconditionally, and irrevocably securing the payment of the principal of and interest on revenue refunding bonds and any notes issued in anticipation thereof in an amount not to exceed $16 million to be issued by the Parking Authority of the City of Paterson for the purpose of providing additional security therefore and determining certain other matters in connection therewith. Department of Finance.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Mendez. Once again, this item as well was furtherly discussed in our workshop, and council agreed to move forward with first reading. Madam Clerk, roll call on item number 3.
Roll call on item number 3 for first reading. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan? Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 9 in favor, none against. Item number 3 is hereby adopted on first reading, second reading, and public hearing will be held at the next regular meeting of March 8, 2022 at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Item number 4.
Next item is item number 4 for first reading. No public hearing is required. Capital ordinance providing for various park improvements by and in the city of Paterson, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $5,700,000 therefore from grant proceeds received pursuant to the Federal American Rescue Plan to pay for the costs thereof. Finance. There a motion?
Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Mims. Do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Cotton.
I'm sorry, Council President, I apologize. Just a brief
Discussion?
discussion.
Okay. Councilman Jackson?
I just want to know a quick outline of which parks is supposed to, and very quickly, I don't need much details, but I'm a bit concerned that this allocation of 5.7, and we're rushing and making priority, which I definitely agree, parks need to be done, but we still have employees waiting for hazardous pay. We still have employees waiting for pay increases and things of that nature. You know, we're finding priorities when people need to take care of their families, and you know, this is a bit unsettling. So if we can get just a quick outline of what parks are being improved, and you know, why is this why has this managed to make it to the agenda prior to all of the employees who are waiting for hazardous pay?
Madam
President, thank you. So you'll see that as part of the capital ordinances, there are a few ones that are bringing in or appropriating money from the American Rescue Plan. There's also the budget for the other items related to the American Rescue Plan. And again, it's bringing the money in, not necessarily allocating it yet. When we had our conversations with the council, we did outline that we would like to put about somewhere between 5 and 6 million towards park improvements. It's not fully listed yet. We don't have all the parks completely done. Anytime that we're spending this money, it would have to come before the council to go out to bid for improvements related to that park project. It would have to be for, you know, whether it's done in-house, it would have to be a state contract. So this isn't appropriating the money, this isn't allocating the money directly to the project, it's appropriating it as part of our budget. And we know some of the council members have already suggested some improvements in parks that will be added to this list. And we continue to welcome suggestions. We know that as part of this 5.7, we're looking to have Commons Field renovations as part of the larger project, but there are lots of smaller projects as well that will be included. This is different from what we said for the capital plan, which we had other park improvements under that 1 million. So this is the 5.7. If you look at number 4 is the parks, number 5 is the sewer, and number 6, actually they're both, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the 7.3 and then the 3.6 related to numerous sewer projects. So these are the American Rescue Plan projects that are connected to capital improvements, and then the budget itself is related to the programmatic improvements or anything that would be counted as a grant.
Madam BA, if you may, please, can you
Councilman
point out?
Jackson?
I'm sorry, thank you, Council President. Can you point out which item on the agenda reflects the hazardous pay for the employees that's been patiently waiting?
Yep, that's actually for the appropriations related to 29. So once that's voted on, while the council approved it back in December, we're doing the final calculations around it. We're having conversations with the union We're making sure that we're able to provide them with lists of all their employees that will be getting the premium pay. And number 29, the vote on that will allow us to then actually pay it out. At this point in time, we have no way to actually pay the premium pay because it hasn't been appropriated as part of our budget.
Council President.
One second. Thank you very much, Councilman Jackson.
So, Council President, I'd like to make a suggestion. Several things. First of all, I want to figure out if these, if the necessity for moving these items is time sensitive. That's the first thing. We're 3 months away from an election, and this administration has squandered well over $200 million in tax credits and various other funding sources. And I think that we should have a better look at, especially when the priority has not been the hazardous pay for employees. We're still having decisions that's going to be made that's going to impact the community after this upcoming election. If the community so chooses that this mayor is who they want to continue to be in place, then he can move forward with these items after the election. But I'm gonna make a suggestion that we remove these items and look to take action on them further down the line after the election.
So, Councilman, I don't know that I would say that I agree with what you're stating, only because we've been back and forth with the administration to make sure that our employees get the premium pay. And so I have a lot of employees that reach out to me saying, when are we gonna get our money? And so to extend it, and that's just my opinion here, and, we can agree to disagree, and I can also see some of your valid points, all right? But I have to say, we've been months on this, and this council actually supported an action, to make sure that a few $1 million was put aside specific to the premium pay. So, that's just my opinion at this time. I don't want us, please, council members, because I see everybody's jumping all over this. I know Councilman Alex Mendez has asked for the floor. No, he asked for it first.
Well, he had to access the microphone. I haven't heard him.
Okay, Councilman Velez, you are correct, but he does sit next to me.
Oh, that's a secret thing.
All right, so after Councilman Mendez, it'll be Velez, and it'll be Abdelaziz. Okay?
Thank you, Madam President. I think I would like to start by saying that this bond of $5.7 million is not related with the hassle pay because we allocate $2 million for that. But let me just say that
Council President, this isn't a bond.
the concern, so we're
It's not a
taking
bond.
out of the $64 million, we planning to use 5.7. The $64 million, that was a one-time shot that we got from the state, from COVID. We understand that. We got that money, and we're planning to use that money within the city. My concern with this $5.7 million is that I understand what you say, Madam BA, that we have to come back, that administration is going to have to come back to this council, but you don't specify any specific project. You're just throwing a total number of $0.7 million, and that was my concern on the Finance Committee meeting, that you say that park improvement is qualified through the qualified census tract must accept in the 3rd and 6th ward. At least for the 3rd ward, as a councilman of the 3rd ward, we all know the condition of the East Side Park and how dilapidated is that park for many, many years. But let me go to my concern number one when it comes to this money that we're gonna spend. The way I feel is that priority change in the city. And this city, we have a serious problem in terms of the violence in the city. We're spending $5.7 million in park. With $4.8 million, we will hire 150 police officers. We will have that money within the budget. My concern is that how we're gonna allocate money to make sure that we bring safety into the community. And instead of spending $5.7 million, Madam BA, I understand that. You just throw in a total number. I would like to see the number only on this. If you check this line item for the $64 million, on public safety payroll, you're only allocating $753,600. I'll be more satisfied if we allocate $4.8 million, that will cover the total of 150 police officers to put boots on the ground in our community. Shooting is out of control in the city. We're not safe in any corner of the city. And the shooting is during the day, during the night, at any point in time during the day, in any corner. We have to take action, and I'm definitely not satisfied with that, and I hope that we could spend this money wisely. We're gonna get the $64 million only one time. And if we spend this money, then we're gonna come back to the taxpayer pack and ask them for more money to hire more police officers into all the areas that we need.
Thank you very much,
So-
Councilman Mendez. Madam BA?
Thank you, Council President. To address two things there, I think, as I said in the Finance Committee last week, there is actually an update in the final rule regarding the use of funding for parks citywide. It's not just qualified census tracts, it's any city park, because of the percentage that we had of positive cases of COVID in the city. So that is no longer what my note was in my sheet, and I clarified that last week. Secondly, you'll notice that a lot of our priorities, and this was part of the conversation, was utilizing this funding for capital projects, for programmatic activities that we can provide, do partnerships with the community. It wasn't to increase current budget, because then that would be a gap in future budgets. As you said, this is a one-time expenditure or a one-time funding source from the federal government. And so we can't hire a bunch of police officers that then a year from now we won't be able to support within our budget. That's why we try to go after funding like COPS funding and other federal funds that allow us time multiple years and then in small amounts, so then we can absorb that within the budget. So I would like, as we're discussing all this, I do know that the council has this spreadsheet which provides some of the explanation for some of the different areas where we're looking to either put it in as a capital project. And again, like the councilman said, it's not a bond. We're not borrowing for this. It is coming into the mechanism for it to come into the city budget is through a capital ordinance, but it is supported by the funding that we have. And the other way is through the grants accounts, as you see in this appropriation sheet that details that.
Thank you very much. Councilman Velez and then Abdulaziz.
Thank you, Council President. The ARP money came with instructions last year. It was a big booklet. It was a little information there that we could acknowledge that it could be used for a lot of things, but not to hire police officers. How are we going to support whatever officer we hire down the road? We cannot take funding just to certify one day, one thing, one witch. That's misinforming the community, totally misinforming. So when we look at this, and I spoke to Madam BA, she could correct me on that today, and I spoke to you today that number 28 was to appropriate the reserve money using the ARP money. And I asked her if the administration had to come back with a capital ordinance to release the funding for the hazard pay. She said yes. Right, Madam Clerk, Madam BA?
It's not necessarily, the ordinance that we have in front of us are for the capital projects.
Correct.
The budget is to appropriate the money so that we can release it, yes. But it's not the capital ordinance.
My question
It's number 29.
Yeah, my question was, in your office, is that you have to come to the council with a resolution to disperse the money, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm correct. They still had to come to us with a resolution to, we go approve to disperse that money. But yet, I don't have it here. If they want to think about the employees of the city of Paterson, those that sacrifice their time 24 hours a day, around the clock, trying to save life out there during the pandemic, during the COVID-19, this should be married with this resolution 2028 today. We release this and we approve this. But it's not here. So I don't think that the 100 employees of the city of Paterson are less important. And they put in the priority of a parks first. When our employees still probably own rent, they still behind in their debts because of the pandemic, and they still were forced to come to work. And they playing politics with this money. I bet you there's going to be a press conference in March saying, we got a check here to give to the employees because they want their votes. They playing politics with your money. Let's keep it clear. It's a shame that the city of Paterson had treated the employees of the city of Paterson the way they've been treated for 3.5 years already. You take note.
Thank you
I'm
very
here,
much.
Council President, I haven't finished. You take note.
Councilman,
Council President, I know
Councilman, I'm
you,
just gonna say this.
I know
We're
you
gonna
acknowledge,
keep order.
I gotta acknowledge you, Council President.
We are going to keep order.
But, okay, Council President, I will wrap up. You take note. You take notes when it comes up to election time. But we here to entertain this. For me, they pitching weak to us, but let's see what happens down the road. Don't let you guys play. Thank you, Council President.
Council President DeLaziz?
Thank you, Council President. I just want the record to reflect I am not running for mayor after I'm definitely not running for mayor. So what I'm saying is something that we cannot stop city business because of elections. $5.7 million is a major investment in our parks that we will never get the opportunity to invest that much while we're sitting here. This was given to us by the federal government. Hazard pay. I don't want people to be mistaken by rhetoric that you're hearing because May's coming around the corner. It's on our agenda. We approve it, then they can start issuing it. But we could do two things at one time. We're adults here. Right? We could do two things at one time. We could invest $5.7 million in our parks, and then we could pay our employees hazard pay. Let's not confuse the public. This is federal money that does not impact the tax levy, and I stated from day one, we're not going to use this money to put in public salaries or hire more employees. This is a time we invest in our infrastructure. Parks that are going to be there upgraded for 10, 15 years down the road. In the 4th Ward, as Councilwoman Khan is going to let you know when she votes, is going to see an investment. Some parks in the 6th Ward that will be created that we cannot get done on our regular budget. So let's not confuse the public. And Council President, I'm going to respectfully disagree. I'm not here to play elections, politics. I'm not on the ballot. We could do both. You could campaign, and to my council colleagues, you support this, you go in front of your constituents to say, I brought a park here. I know I'm going to do that in the 6th Ward. I'll have my own little ribbon, come invite all of you guys, because I'm voting for this, I'm supporting this, and we're going to invest in our infrastructure. Guess what else is in this plan? River Street to get redone. $7 million to get River Street redone. Everyone has driven there. We could do both, colleagues. We could invest and do the public's work while you campaign, but let's not stop progress because we can't wait till May comes around the corner. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much. And council colleagues, I know Councilman Rivera has asked for the floor, but please be very mindful that I know Madam Clerk already gave me the heads up that it's 8:05 and we have an 8 o'clock executive session.
Okay. Okay. May I, Council President? Oh.
Okay, so there is a lot of people in the chambers. So what we're gonna do, there's only 9 of us, so we can go into the conference room, okay?
For what?
But we'll do that in a few.
Right.
Councilman Rivera?
So, Council President, I'm not running for mayor either, like Councilman DeLaziz stated. But I have a different point of view. We have to be more strategic when allocating this funding. Although we see many things that the council requested on paper, we have to make sure that we see the plan come through. For example, Councilman DeLaziz brought up a great idea, and then I saw, what could come out of this, and a lot of my council colleagues agree on it, which is creating a complex where we move a lot of our departments, put a recreation center, police department, everything in the same location, right? It would be the safest, rec center probably in the state, right? You want to have it right where the police department is. But that's another conversation for another time. You have River Street. we requested a sidewalk program, but I have to disagree with my council colleague, Councilman Abdelaziz. During my tenure here, we have, and you started this when we did Buckley, you said that there was no way that we could spend another $5 million. Well, if you add up all the parks that we did in this 3.5 years that we've been, almost 4 years that we've been here, we've done a lot. And what I told the administration in finance is, we cannot afford to do all the parks in 4 years. We have other needs that need to be met. My concern is this, council members. We receive 100, and I don't mean to continue to kick the dead horse, but we receive $133 million, and look what happened, right? Lack of ratables, no job creation, right? I want to make sure that we're more strategic when it comes to using this $60+ million that we've been allocated. Let's be more strategic. We don't know how much the other things that we have here, we have an idea, but we don't know how much exactly those things are going to cost. So what's the rush? That is my question. We've done many, many parks. Once again, we've done Buckley Field, we spent over $1 million in that park. We've done Burley Field, over $1 million in that park. We've done, hear me out here, we've done Bear Trap, we've done so many fields. If you add it all up, it's probably more than this $5 million that's here. So just be mindful. I don't like to rush into things, and let's learn from history. Some of you made a great point about using one-time revenue. Let's say, I'm not saying we could use this money for that, but let's say that we're able to use this money to hire staff. Well, you don't want to do that. This is a one-time revenue. Then in the future, you got a tough decision to make, which we've seen what happened in the past. We don't want to make the same mistake twice. We got to learn from our past. So think about it twice when you vote on this. This could be done later on, but let's make sure that we see the whole plan presented to us. Not on paper. I want to see a study of how much that's going to cost, the things that we have requested to put here. We don't have that right now. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm ready to vote, Council President.
Okay, so Council members, Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask for a roll call.
Right.
Madam Clerk, if you can please, one second. Can you let me know how many speakers are? I may open, I know that the executive session, but how many speakers?
Approximately 15 speakers. 15.
No. We're not, huh? All right, so the colleagues would like, okay, we'll take the public portion first. I know that legal is here, so just sit and wait. What we're gonna do, we're going to do the public portion before we go into our executive session. No, we're gonna vote.
No,
we're
wait a
gonna vote.
second.
I just wanted to just say that the next thing that we're going to do is, yes. So right before the vote, Councilwoman Cotton, and then
Okay.
we'll go on roll call.
Right, then we're gonna do roll call for this.
Correct.
For number
On
4.
first reading. On
First reading,
Right.
Okay.
Item number 4 is on first reading.
Right. I just want to say that, as I'm looking through this, and I had talked about it before, and one of the parks that I really wanted to make sure we got done was Vera Ames Park, which we have allocated money for that park. It needs a lot of work, but we do have money allocated. I'm looking at my Barber Park, but I know for a fact that River Street, since I've been on the city council, has needed work to be done. The whole sewer system is gone. It got to be replaced. The River Street runs from the 3rd ward all the way through the 1st ward. So we got the 3rd, the 4th, and the 1st ward with River Street. So those are money allocated. And we did talk about the premium pay. It's not called hazardous pay, it's called premium pay. So, and we are going to vote on that for our council people tonight. So we need, council people, they get the premium pay, right? I'm sorry, but we are gonna be voting on that tonight. So there's many things that's gonna come out of this that's gonna be beneficiary
Thank you.
for the city. I
Councilwoman
also
Cotton,
see.
thank you.
I also see in here, job training. I see in here, the crimes, that we need to do something with our crime. I'm not gonna say a name of an organization, but these are different organizations that can come and apply to help with the crime that's going.
Councilwoman Cotton, I really appreciate what you're
That's what
doing,
we
but you're
do?
going through the entire agenda, and we gotta stick to the
Oh,
one item.
okay, we gotta go through that.
The
but-
one item.
This is
understand
all
when you
in
vote.
there. This is
Okay.
all in there that we need, especially, I know about the crime, and the job training and the parks. The two major parks, for my ward is Vera Ames Park, and Barber Park.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Council President, I'd
And
like to
item
make a
number
motion to
4.
table this item.
Second.
Can you do that? In the middle of the motion?
Madam Clerk, there's a motion to table this item, and moved by Councilman Jackson and second by Councilman Velez.
Are you allowed to?
Roll call.
Council President, can I just get clarification from Madam Clerk? They're not making a motion to amend it, they're making a motion to remove. There is a motion and second currently on the floor, and it should be up for a vote, and then if it fails, it fails. I don't think, they're not making a motion to amend. They're making a motion to remove, which I think violates Robert's rules.
Oh, I did. No, they did.
You're the parliamentarian, so if we could just get a
Madam Clerk,
clarification.
They're asking for me to, a motion and a second to table this.
but there was a motion and a second to move for a vote, and we were getting ready to vote.
So it should be
And,
a vote.
So it supersedes.
Yeah, they're not amending.
Okay.
No, we're not.
My apologies, I take that back, Madam Clerk. The motion by Councilman Jackson and Councilman Velez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on
Whoa,
item
whoa,
number
what are we
4.
voting on?
On table.
No, I'm asking if, I don't think they're allowed to make a motion a second to remove. Robert's Rules of Order says a motion to amend supersedes the current motion. I don't think you're allowed to just make a motion to remove while there's a motion and a second on the floor. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, there's already a motion and a second on the floor. for
Okay,
this
so,
item.
Madam Clerk?
You're correct.
Roll call on item number 4.
Just point for, we're voting on the item.
We are voting on item number 4 for first reading.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call on item number 4 for first reading, Councilman Abdelaziz.
To the residents of the City of Paterson in the 6th Ward, this is a $5.7 million investment to our parks. I think everyone in the City of Paterson understands that our parks need investments across the entire city, from 1st Ward to the 6th Ward. We could pick numerous parks that need investment and upgrades. This does not come from the tax levy. This is a federal money that came down from Washington. And this is not approving any specific park. This is just drawing down the $5.7 million, putting it into our budget that doesn't impact the tax bill, and it allows us to invest in infrastructure that we could probably never invest in our current budget because of payroll, services, and everything that's in our current budget. I hope my council colleagues, some of you are on the ballot. This is a great thing for you because we're investing in our kids. We always say we want to have our kids off the street. Let's build the parks for them so they could play and have a safe environment to play. So my vote is yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say to the community out there that besides the park that I see that's in here, there's other things that are so important that we must look at for our community, especially the crime that's happening all through us. And this is first reading. We have another reading that we have to do with this. And so with that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So let's be clear to the members of the public. We're talking about being responsible. No other council person that's sitting here or even some prior can ever say they've been more consistent than I have. We just spent $90 million on Hinchcliffe Stadium. That created 2 jobs for 2 Patersonians. They're working at the bottom level of the chain. They're getting paid the least amount of all of the employees on the job. The contractor who came before this council to promise for nice places for our kids to play and job opportunities, employment opportunities, economic growth in the community, made promises that he then reneged on. $90 million of your money that went into improving a stadium that's not going to pay taxes, that's not going to help reduce the tax burden on you as a homeowner, as Paterson Public Schools just increased our tax levy another $9 million. That means you, the taxpayer, have to come up with that money. So my point here is, obviously, this administration has no idea on how to recover services for our community. They've made a number of poor decisions when it comes to finances. Yes, is it nice to have a new park? It is. But there's tons of things that we could have utilize this money to make investments on. We could have put cameras on every exits and entrances of the city so that when people come in here to do illegal activity, we can track what's going on. When people are dumping, we can track them and make sure that the community is then cleaned. We all can acknowledge that the city is the absolute dirtiest it's ever been. You redo a new park, and then it gets vandalized, spray painted on the first week that it's in motion. I don't even feel comfortable with my children playing at these parks. You don't let them go outside by themselves. So there's all kinds of other things that we could have utilized this money for. This administration didn't sit down with this council and or probe the community on what's best. What are the things that you want to see? They're shoving these things down your throat, forcing you, while they have people sitting in positions on the council working on their behalf, pushing their agenda, and $150 million of tax credits that got spent, and not one of them is going to create $1 of residual rateable income. Now, those are facts. Those are facts. You can't deny the facts. You can do the feel good all you want to. You could take money and allocate it to redo parks and things of that nature, name it after people, have ribbon cutting ceremonies. But how is that impacting us and our quality of life, which that buzz phrase is so frequently utilized, but we're doing nothing. Just today, I see a situation where a person lost their life in headquarters, in the holding cell. We have a family here tonight who had a family member that got picked up, and now he's all of a sudden missing. You have all kinds of things going on in this community, and we're sitting here doing the feel-good stuff. We spent $1.4 million
Councilman Jackson?
The clock didn't go off.
No, Councilman Jackson, you've been talking for more than the 2 minutes. So
Well, it's very important. The things I have to say is important,
Councilman
Councilwoman.
Jackson, it is very important what you're saying.
I'm going to try my best.
I don't want the community to think that I'm not, just that when we're in voting session, you can make your statement and then you're bringing in other situations that right now we are not able to talk about.
Well,
Wanna discuss
Council
them?
President, when we have other council members spewing rhetoric that's falsehoods, and sometimes it takes some effort to make sure that this narrative isn't left out there, because there's so many different infractions in this community. $1.4 million spent on the park here, Lou Costello Park. Councilman Velez walks over and talks to the vendor. How much did you spend on material? Oh, about $200,000. $200,000 on material, yet we gave them $1.4 million. I've been asking for audits, and this administration just ignores my request. So, obviously, the truth is something that's not necessarily, enjoyed around here, but the fact that we're squandering all of this money without a clear plan of where it's taking us in the future, that should be a concern of everyone here. My vote is no, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Khalid?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm going to focus on the item on the agenda. We're just allocating $5.7 million for the improvements of the parks. That's the only thing doing it. It is only the first reading. there's going to be a second reading. Afterward, if they plan to, for example, to do over a tennis court at West Side Park, they have to come in front of us with a plan, architectural plan, the fee, how much it's going to cost. There are many more readings, many times they have to come in front of us, then we have to approve it. This is just the first step. This is not like we're giving away $5.7 million or anything like that. So for first reading, definitely my vote is yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I'll be brief, but this is my opinion on this item. I think that we've rushed in to give this administration a $5.7 million check with no plan. We haven't seen no plan on how they're going to spend this money, and also on not including the East Side Park, one of the largest parks in the city that need so much repair. So that's my concern, and I'm just going to say this. I mean, we could build park, but if we don't feel safe in the city, there's no way that our children or family are going to enjoy the park. Paterson, this is an emergency in this city. You see the amount of shooting that we get, the violence that we get in the city. With this money, $5.7 million, 150 police officers will cost you $1.8 million. You still have almost $1 million left. Now, you know how you're gonna pay that on the next budget term? Just look around the city and look around how many new construction we have. Look all the redevelopment that we have in the city. I guarantee you that if this city do the math, this administration do the math, it will be way more than $5, $6, $7 million that we're getting in revenue for new construction. With that money, I will cover those 150, and I will make sure that we have books on the ground in all those neighborhoods that we don't see police presence because we don't have enough manpower to cover all the emergencies that we have in the city of Paterson. You cannot enjoy any park if we don't feel safe. That's my recommendation. That's my point of view. We're going to talk about all the items later on, but for now, my vote is no. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Mims?
So Patterson, I'm just going to focus on the item that is before us. The item that's before us is to put in place $5.7 million towards parks. There is a plan. I advocated for a master parks plan for all the parks. Myself, Council President Davila, we were able, because the city got a $25,000 grant, we were able to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee on this grant, and we were able to see parks, some that were renovated, some that were desolate, and all types of things. And we were able to come back, and they hired a consultant, which this council approved, by the name of Andy Stone, and he put together a vision plan of all the parks of the city. That way, we're not just saying we want to do this here, we want to do this here. There is a plan in place by a consultant to identify all the parks of the city and what needs to be done. This item is in direct alignment with the plan. We have talked about the Vera Ames Park, Montgomery Park as it's formerly known, that needs a lot of repair. That is one of the items in this park. We just renamed the park after her, and then you don't want to see it improve. When there comes to issues, and I agree with the quality of life and safety, but this money that was allocated to our city through the federal government was money that was given because of the concerns through the pandemic. We all agree, and I don't think there's anyone that disagrees, that the employees they should get paid. We advocated for that, Council President, myself, and I think Cotton and Velez, we were the sponsors on the item to make sure that it came before the council to say, allocate $2 million so that our employees could get premium pay because they worked during COVID. That was approved by this council. And now before us on tonight, I don't want to mix apples with oranges. We need improvements in the parks. And if you've ever been to a park, wow, my timer went off quick. Some people talk for 10 minutes. I think there's a side timer for the MEMS conversation. But when it comes to parks, I'm a strong advocate because when we have parks, we build the educational opportunities or the lack thereof for our children and our parents and our grandparents. We need improvements in the parks. Do we need the other things? Yes, we do. And there are other allocations. The administration did meet with all the council members. They met with us and asked us, what are some things you would like to see done? And people, we gave input, and a lot of those items are in this allocation. So, look, and I am running for reelection for councilwoman at large. And I'm not voting because of a reelection. I'm voting because I am born and raised in Paterson. I've been here for 52 years, and I'm a mom of 4 and a grandmother of 2. Our children deserve some places to play that are safe, that are upgraded. Some of the swings are broken in the park. The fountains don't work. We could go on and on and on about what's not happening. And let me not even get into Tyrone Collins Park, where we need that gate, and we've been begging almost for that gate for so long. So with this item, that gate's gonna be in here, all those other repairs that we've been asking and pleading for. And so I would be a hypocrite to vote no when I know that the community has been begging for these parks to be improved. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
So I pass this comment often that this council have approved more park improvements than probably other councils in the past 15 years, right? Just look around all the new parks that we have done. Do we have to improve other parks? Sure. But everything has to be done with timing, right? We have other needs in this city. Our roads, I want to ask you a question, council member. Our roads are not in great conditions. Yes, we're spending a lot of money on River Street because of the sewer situation. We also have another $2 million put in there for other roads, which $2 million don't get you a lot. I also requested to maybe look into having a sidewalk program to help residents, right, improve the sidewalks. Because what I notice is oftentimes we fix the roads, but the sidewalks still look bad. And towns like Clifton have actually included in their capital improvement that when they do the roads, they also do the sidewalk. I know you could make a case that, oh, it's the owner's responsibility. Well, for the 30-plus years that I live in Paterson, it's always been the owner's responsibility, but they still look the same. Our roads look like, I don't know if, for you guys that go to barbershop, it looks like you getting a haircut and not doing a shape-up, right? That's how bad our neighborhoods look. So this is what I'm saying. This is the message that I want to send. We have here this money that has been allocated to us. We have until 2024 to make a commitment. That means actually purchase. 2024, pay attention. We just started 2022. We have until 2024 to put a good plan in place. And whoever said this is a good plan with the 5.7, how could you have a good plan that doesn't outline specifically what is going to be done with this 5.7? This money could be used for anything in any park. I'm not saying the mayor will use it for a dog park, but the way this is written, they could use it for any park, including the dog park. So all I'm saying is, what is the rush? I'm not against doing the parks, but let's do an assessment. We have a lot of roads that are in bad condition. We have until 2024 to make the commitment. We have until 2026 to spend the money. That's 4 years from now to actually spend it, like cut the check and pay the vendor. So even if in 2024 we want to do the park or one park, we're able to do so. Please don't rush. Please, council members. My vote is no.
Councilman Velez?
You could clap. Let me keep this clear. Yes, I'm running for mayor. Yes, I am. The best councilman that had the 6th ward in old time was Mr. Rooney. He used to use the phrase, whatever goes in Paterson goes. Now the 6th ward have cloned somebody talking like a mayor. That's the way the mayor speak. When you lobby for something, that's the way he speak. So if I go to Oprah the text message back and forth every time that something is dealing here, you'd be surprised. Now, what I would do is take care of the core service of the city first. The core service of the city is our employees, our residents, making sure that they get back a good deal. Today, we're not against parks, and we're gonna mention it all over. You can mention any park in the city. We're not against that. Look, I got Roberto Clemente Park there. I lobby for every pocket park we lobby. Councilwoman Mins is right. There was a plan for parks 3 years ago. They sat down with that plan. What about this money wasn't here? So that means they were not gonna do the park? Because the money's not here? So still, they counted in the money that if you look at those instructions, okay, you know, hopefully they don't audit. It really, really, really needed to do this now. So I'm in favor of parks. I'm in favor of remodeling all of them and do what we have to do, but I think our employees have to be taken care of first until I don't see this ordinance in place that move forward with the hazard pay in the next couple of meetings. I'm not going to approve this at all. So my vote is no.
Thank you. Madam President?
It's 4-4?
Yes, ma'am.
So, it's 8:30. Started our meeting at 7, and we're not even halfway through the agenda. We have council here with some of their clients, an executive session, the people of Paterson. All I'm gonna say is this. Everyone knows that the mayor's up for re-election and that half the body wants to be the mayor. And there's also 3 at-large seats that are up. I'm not going to use that today, and why I'm supporting this is not because I'm up for re-election. No, because you know what? If tomorrow I'm not sitting here, I'm still gonna be Maritza Davila. I'm still gonna be living in this city because this is where I was born and raised. I'm doing what's right for the people of Paterson. Paterson has waited too long. Let's stop it with the rhetoric, because let's keep it real. It's great to be, you know, for you to say, oh, you know, we have to do this. We need more police. Who's been the biggest champion? Who's been the fighter with public safety? Council President Davila. All right, so this is not about that. These monies specifically cannot be used to hire officers. So with that said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Madam President. The vote is 5 in favor, 4 against. Item number 4 is hereby adopted in first reading. Second reading and the public hearing will be held at the next regular meeting of March 8, 2022 at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. So, Madam Clerk, I've said that we're going to take the public portion. Do I need to go into executive and then, or no? We can move forward, right? Yes. Okay.
You would have,
The public
once we open up,
portion
we
is
would
now
have to.
open.
Okay, so you want to do the public portion?
Yes.
Okay, the public portion is now open, and our first speaker is Kahim Hunt. Please state your name and address for the record.
Wait.
I was just testing the mic.
Kahim Hunt.
Just state your name and your address for the record.
Okay. Kahim Hunt, 10 Cortlandt Street, Paterson, New Jersey. Yes? All right. Good evening, council. My name is Kahim Hunt, and I'm a lifelong resident of Paterson. I attended grammar school here, also graduated from John F. Kennedy High School as well. I also served this country by enlisting in the Army National Guard, deploying to Iraq in 2008 to 2009, which in turn makes me a veteran. In 2012, I became a firefighter and an emergency medical technician for the city of Paterson. However, on the day of May 3rd, 2017, I was charged with a crime that I did not commit. Plain and simple, those charges were maliciously lodged against me. After a year-long battle, all charges against me were dismissed. As expected, through the process, my EMT license was temporarily suspended, and I was suspended without pay from the career which I've grown to love as a Paterson firefighter. Over the course of the past 5 years, I've been working as an EMT for 2 separate emergency medical transportation companies, which have given me the means to continue to provide for my family and also provided the means to continuously fight and overcome all my current legal matters. During 2018 to 2019, I've made multiple attempts to correspond with Kyle Hughes, who was the acting union president for the Paterson Fire Department, which he made no attempt whatsoever to assist me with anything in regards to my legal matters. Therefore, I'm seeking your support to be reinstated. Chief Brian McDermott, Mayor Andre Saya, and his administration have not been forthcoming with me in dealing with my reinstatement, and bouncing back and forth only costing me more money, which I obviously don't have. During my tenure as a Paterson firefighter, I have been committed, dedicated, and hardworking for my community. My only mistake was I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't feel like I should receive this level of punishment and lose out on all the hard work that I've put in to build up my career. Honestly, I've been very hesitant with coming forward these past few years, but after seeing the allegations on paper about Fire Chief Brian McDermott, I felt I had to come forward. The racial divide in the fire department and the level of treatment to minorities is very disappointing. I truly feel if I wasn't a black man from the city of Paterson, I would have been treated much differently. There would have been a celebration, and I would have been congratulated for my vindication. Lastly, I want to make my fight public, and I'm here to ask all of you who are supported by people like myself, I need your help, and I feel I deserve better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Next speaker, Ms. Gina Johnson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Gina Johnson, 148 Pearl Street, Paterson. I first came in December to address the council about my concerns about the fire department's hiring. And since that time, I've gotten a lot more information. People have called me with tales of wrongdoing and mistreatment, and my concern is still the same. I'm a homeowner, I'm a taxpayer. I raised and educated 3 children in this city, and one is a teacher, one works for the city, and my nephew, who would like to be a firefighter, is a lifeguard. Now, my concerns are that Paterson jobs don't go to Paterson people. I work in the public schools. I know very many of these young people, and they are spirited, they are intelligent, and they are able. But when I look at the firefighters and the police officers in our city, they don't look like the children I work with. Well, when you don't live in a place that you work, you don't invest in that community. When our firefighters and our police officers don't live here, they pay their taxes somewhere else. They patronize businesses somewhere else. I work in the schools. I work with some people who don't leave the building to buy a cup of coffee in this city. And the only thing they know about Paterson is how to get from the highway to the school they work in and back on the highway. And teaching, Firefighters and police officers are some of the highest paid city employees. Now, I again implore the city council to investigate the hiring practices in this city. I've heard numerous stories about young people who took the test, got their paperwork together, passed the background test, went in for the interview, and never heard another word. Didn't hear anything. But then you see another class of cadets, and none of the people on it look like us. So I would ask again, let the hiring practices be transparent, investigate, because there are so many stories. People come up to me and tell me over and over. My nephew, one of the reasons they gave for him for his decision not being reversed was that he got a parking ticket for street cleaning after his application, and they felt that indicated he had a lack of respect for law enforcement. But I've learned that there are firefighters who were hired to have DUIs. Thank you for listening to me, and I again implore you to look into this.
Thank you very much.
Next speaker is
Madam Clerk, next
Mr.
speaker.
Rucker. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Rucker?
Mr. Rucker?
Mr. Ernest Rucker, you're next.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
I'm asking for Cedar Village. This whole thing is puzzling me. The investigation of the fire chief. A council that is on this agenda, never brought to this council before, but on this agenda, the administration asking you to pay for council that was never approved by this administration. I got a problem with that. I have a problem with that. This council has 3 fiduciary responsibilities: law, guardians of the budget, and investigative, a committee of the whole. Now, I know no one wants to do a committee of the whole because a mayor is running and the election is in May. But that's when we need the answers before we take and make our vote. We don't want to find out after May that this mayor has done wrong things. We need to know now. There's another issue brewing, and it's very hot. The City Council gave an event for Black History Month. No one knew, at least I didn't know, and no one in this audience knew, that the mayor had a private invitation gathering at the Brownstone. Private invitation. You had to get a phone call to get there. So this is not a, and I keep hearing this, I don't want to hear it no more. This was not a city event. This was not a city event. And let's count the ways it was not a city event. The mayor's staff worked the event. One person paid for the event. Okay? The mayor had someone out of his office sitting at a table taking petitions. Petitions. That made it a political event. That made it a political event. So when we talk about a committee of the whole, we don't need to keep hearing y'all say, well, we want to go into executive session. No, a committee of the whole is in public. Why aren't we not allowed to hear what's going on? And it's enough time for us to realize, and so many people running, I would think that you'll be grabbing at the bits to make sure the public was comfortable. We're not comfortable. We're not safe in this city. It's dirty. But yet, just a minute ago, we're talking about the $5 million some dollars for the parks. I want to see my parks improved. But who the hell wants to go to the park when it's not safe? It's not safe. Who wants to step outside of your door after 6 o'clock because a bullet may be coming? But yet, I'm listening to you guys want to play with this park money. Why? I want to see parks fixed, but not right now. I want safety first. We're building buildings. We got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of construction going on in this city, and not one person in this audience can get a job. And we live in Paterson. It's time that we stop playing games here. A committee of the whole is necessary. And you don't hold back a committee of the whole because the election's coming in May. You let the people decide based on the information supplied to them. There is a lot of conflicted situations in this game right now. I'm asking y'all, let's put politics aside, personal feelings aside. The community wants answers. And we've been asking for these answers. And we have not gotten them. You guys keep talking about transparency, accountability. What do you think your committee of the whole does? It gives you that transparency. It gives you the answers that we can hear. I know you have to go in this executive session, so let me say this to you. Let's not play no games in executive session. Because next week I'll be back. So let's not play no games in the executive session. I'm not pointing nobody else, I'm telling everybody. And every time I warn you guys and stuff, you keep taking it as a joke until the building falls on you. I'm asking you, for the community's sake, for our sake, let this be a transparent situation. There are questions being asked. You guys had a thing on McDermott. They hired outside counsel. You didn't know nothing about it. Now you're asked to pay for it. Now you're asked to pay the bill for something you knew nothing about. No reports, no accountability, no transparency. But from the story I read, it made me a little curious. I had to dig a little deeper. The car that you're talking about they worked on has been sitting at the Madison Ave garage for 2 years. So are we allowing people to park and store their personal cars on city land? If that's the case, I want to be able to park in the mayor's spot. Enough is enough, ladies and gentlemen. Please, do not keep BSing us. This election is too close. Too close. We want a committee of the whole, we want it done publicly, and we want it now.
Madam Clerk, next speaker, please. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker, Ms. Galishaw. Is she here? Ms. Galishaw?
Next speaker.
Next speaker is Mr. Gilmore.
Mr. Gilmore. Oh, Ms. Galishaw's here. Madam Clerk, Ms. Galishaw's here. Ms. Galishaw, you're next.
Excuse me?
I said you're next.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not here to bite anybody's head off. Linda Galishaw, Third Ward. I'm just following up again. We have more questions about the expenses or the events that the Honorable Andre Sayer has been putting on. Some of the things that he's doing is very questionable, and again, we are concerned with accountability and why this council is not investigating some of these things. I don't understand how he could plan to have a Black History program on the same day as what was done here, and it's done annually. That's like a sneak attack. I don't understand. I find it very questionable that there is involvement of city workers along with an event that was paid for by one Paterson. And that is my question to you over and over again. You cannot have a mayor with a huge fund like that, one Paterson, and then go on saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing it. You're doing it sometimes, and then you're sometimes expensing it to the city. That's unfair. It's very unclear where this money is coming from and how he's commingling. Now, we worried about that on the last trip. I didn't think it was going to happen again this time. So I'm asking for the investigative arm of this council to extend itself to investigate in some of these affairs that the mayor has been having. Let's be honest, it is not clear-cut, it's not separated. where we can understand where the money is coming from. As I said, I thank Mr. Velez for bringing that out, because you guys just want to hop over everything and say, oh, yeah, it's okay, well, let's just let it go. No. Let's get accountability. This is the main reason why we're asking for some of you, most of you, to be removed from there, because you don't seem to be concerned with what your taxpayers, your constituents, are saying. So, I ask that you turn yourselves around and you put your head down and start working for us who put you there. So I want to say to my one Paterson, please start looking at the candidates or the petitions that have been taken out by the potential candidates. Don't vote for your friend. We don't need a friend. We need someone that's going to fight for us. Hey, Mike Jackson, we need somebody that's going to stick their neck out for us. And there are a few. Mendez, I'm pushing for you. I'm pushing for Jackson. There's a few people that I'm looking at. I'm going to pledge my leadership in the right direction, and I'm not for sale. I'm not for sale. So please, do your best at representing the people and not your own actions. Again, stop coming to our affairs, assuming the mic. I think you need to just walk in the room and find out what's happening, and go back to your seat, your desk, your council, your group, and find out what you can do to help us out here. We need help. Taxpayers, be aware, we can change. Sweeney, after all those years in the Senate, was taken down by a truck driver. When people have had enough, they've had enough. And it seems like Paterson is very slow to change. We have to do better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker?
Next speaker is Mr. Gilmore.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, let me start by saying I am a petitioning candidate for mayor until I'm not. So I have opinions. I have things that I want to say that have value in terms of the campaign, regardless of what some other people think. I have insider knowledge of which I plan to share as well, as I'm a petitioning candidate for mayor for this next election. I have been attacked, defamed, brought up on charges, suspended in my job, supposedly interviewed by a third party. I was not interviewed by the third party attorney hired to do the investigation. Never interviewed. Never interviewed. There's a problem with that. Violated my rights, affirmative action, and or EEOC, CHRO, and or Title VII. There's a lot of malfeasance, if you will, in the breakdown of the process. Let me say this, as I quote my friend and sage, Wahida Muhammad, "He who has nothing to hide, hides nothing." I have not a damn thing to hide. Everything I say and do, I'm ready, willing, and able to come to this council or in the public venue to speak and talk about. I have nothing to hide. All I ever wanted to do was do my damn job. And I was denied the opportunity to do the job to my fullest extent because my department or division was dismantled, because we were given too many tickets to somebody's friends. You can go all the way back to the art factory and the 200 tickets that were abated, and I never got an opportunity to speak about those tickets that were abated because very aggressively, then Corporation Counsel denied me my opportunity to speak, my First Amendment right to speak. Not only from the employee standpoint, but when I came up as a private citizen to the microphone, I was denied my right to speak. Ponder that. What happened? So I say, as an advocate for truth, justice, and the American way, just like Superman, I want you to understand that I'm advocating for the Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole is the investigative arm of this council, needs to ask those questions, needs to find out why or where is the report that was supposedly generated for the charges that were brought against me for the erroneous suspension, pending termination of me and my job, for whatever activities related to other situations that are relevant to the committee of the whole's function. It needs to happen. Why are some people so determined not to have the committee of the whole proceed? What are you hiding? Why? You know, obviously some people are conflicted if in fact they want to protect certain individuals. But you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. You can look at it and see they're conflicted. And that should be measured and weighed when it is time to vote. Who was conflicted? Who forwarded an agenda to find out all the information for the people? You hear that all the time. People, I'm for the people. What people? Certain people. So let's call it what it is. That's what it is. And I'm a candidate, petitioning candidate for the several hundred people that have signed my petition. I don't know if we're going to make it to the end. I don't know. I can't fight 2 battles, 3 battles at the same time. Right now, I'm weighing whether or not I will continue in this process. But until I'm not, I'm a petitioning candidate for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President. Council President, I think this Mr. Garcia from Union Avenue is one of the entertainment owners for the license. And I think I have Teresa Richardson. I think she's one of the attorney for.
Yeah, so is there something?
I have time. I'd like to defer
Wait.
my time to the Jesus family, please.
Okay, no, one second. We have to go by the list. So you said that Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I said Mr. Garcia would be next from Union Avenue.
All right, so, but I think that they just probably signed up.
Right.
We're gonna have a discussion and they'll be able to speak then. Is there something that they wanted to say? Because if not, we can move on so we can move forward to. Okay, so Madam Clerk, next speaker?
Okay, so I'll just skip over those 2?
Yes.
Okay. And the other, Mr. Jamie had already asked me to remove his name.
Yes.
And then Giovanni De Jesus, the Giovanni.
How you doing? Good evening.
Good
My name is
evening.
Giovanni.
I can't hear you.
My name is Giovanni De Jesus. I live on 170 B Street. I'm here on behalf of my brother, Felix Joel De Jesus. I've been asking for help. I've been trying to contact Andre Sayers, been trying to get involved. You know, I need some help from you guys. I need some questions from you guys. 2 of your police officers arrested my brother from 499 Union Ave. They're not reported. They're not saying nothing. And they dropped them off on Prickness and Front Street. They dropped them off in the middle of the park. Like, that's nowhere. It was cold blue. It was cold blue. He was under the influence, and he had short sleeve shirt, and I had to wait 10 days until I came and I escalated. I went to internal affairs. I had to go to the prosecutor's office. I kept asking questions to the police officers. Nobody wanted to give me questions. 10 days later, 2 officers admitted that they picked up my brother from Union Ave, highly intoxicated, and just dropped him off on Prickness and Front Street. That's a park. That's nowhere to be found. My brother already got, tomorrow, it's gonna be 3 weeks. My family's devastated. My family been looking all over the parks. My family been looking everywhere. I need help. I need answers. I need who are these officers. I need these officers to get incarcerated. Because if we would have done it, if I would have picked up an officer and dropped him off and he doesn't appear right now, I would have been incarcerated. If I pick up a dog in a cold blue weather and I dump him in the park, I will get incarcerated. I'm going to jail. Why are these cops still out here? Who knows if they come and they do it to another person out here in Paterson? Like, he's missing already. It's 3 weeks tomorrow. I haven't received no answers from nobody. I just need help. I just need help. I have the paperwork here. Listen, I have my number. I have my older brother number in here. You guys can contact. I just need answers. I don't care y'all give me my brother back in a box or something. I don't care if my brother's in the hospital. I just need my brother back. That's all I need. I need answers. And I haven't received no answers from nobody.
The reason why we come this way is because it was the officers who last had him in custody.
Contact with him.
And then he disappeared off of the,
And
he's
if he
nowhere.
was highly intoxicated, you should have took him to a hospital or a complex and let it get down. We were happy to know as a family and community that the officers took him. They're here to protect and serve. That's what we thought. But 10 days later, you keep denying that you had any physical contact with him. Now we're 3 weeks into it, and we're starting to get a little wicked thoughts because you denied first having any contact. 10 days later, you say that you had contact with him. You said that he was highly intoxicated, so you identified he was highly intoxicated. Left him at a park where there's bridges, rivers, there's the Great Falls. You have all of this in the head. So the smartest thing to protect and serve that you thought that was the brightest thing you could have done that night on a 12-degree blue weather was not ask him his name, not ask him his address, not ask him who he is, not ask him if he knows a phone number, who to call, a family member. No, you say, let me leave him by bridges, water, not in the right state of mind. And not contact no one, not even let the family know that you had contact with him, highly intoxicated that night. You denied it till 10 days later. Now we're thinking wicked.
20 days
We need
later,
some
we still
answers.
don't
We
have
need
no
some
answers.
help. Patterson police have not done anything to try to help us to look for him. Not parks or anything. We have a whole nother Heldon Police Department down here. We got boats, submarines, all of that stuff, those people that go in the water. No Paterson Police Department, only Heldon. Why? Yes, he is a Heldon resident. He went missing in Paterson. He was last human contact, Paterson Police Department. Why 3 weeks later, we still have no answers? We're still the family out here pushing for the community to help us. And now we're here at this meeting, and we're going to continue to be here until we get some answers. We need something. We need some type of clearance. We need something. We don't have a body. We don't have a body. We can't, there's no hospital there. We've been everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you know more than us, well, then tell us. Do something, guide us in the right direction.
Okay, so on that note, we have the VA here.
And we have it on footage as well,
We ha-
everything.
okay,
We can stand behind what we're saying.
Okay,
Definitely.
so I know that you're coming to ask us for answers, and we cannot answer you.
Correct,
The
but today-
administration has to answer you. So with that said, all right, I need you to provide your information that you say you have to our clerk,
We've
to
made
our
several copies.
to our clerk, so then we can see what you have there. Madam BA, through legal.
Council President.
No, nobody's gonna speak right now.
Also,
One second. Through the legal department, because obviously, you know, they do deserve answers, right? I don't know who
course.
they've spoken to. We as well, so Corporation Counsel. Our police director isn't here, our chief of police isn't here.
Thank you, Council President. First and foremost, to the De Jesus family, my heart goes out to you. I can't even imagine what you're going through now. The prospect of a missing family member, not knowing what happened to them or where they are. So my heart is absolutely with you. And I will certainly keep you all in my thoughts and prayers, and I wish and I hope that he'll come home soon. With that being said, my understanding is that there is an internal affairs investigation ongoing into this issue. And for the Jesus family, what that means is that the police officer's actions in this conduct is being looked into. As a result, that particular, under the New Jersey guidelines, AG guidelines, that's confidential. What I will tell you, though, is I will take your contact information. And if there's absolutely anything that I can share with you, you have my word, I will. Okay?
Why are these two officers still running around?
Well, that's a good question, and
And they could do the same thing to another family member.
if I may, Council President,
Okay,
like I
just so you
said,
understand, so you
you know,
understand, it's
unfortunately,
really not a rebuttal, but I'm
Yeah.
pleased, because I want you to have clarification. I don't want you leaving here and thinking that we don't care, all right? So can you?
no, we absolutely do care, and whether it's a Paterson resident or a Heldon resident, it's a human being. So, I will do everything I can to obtain information that I can and I can share with you. I do want to manage your expectations, though. Internal affairs investigations are confidential, but that won't stop me from asking,
Council
and that
President.
won't stop me from trying to get to the bottom of this and sharing what I can. So I will exchange information. My name is Eamon Ibushi. I am the Corporation Counsel, the city's chief attorney, and I'll be happy to correspond with you and share what I can.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank
Council
you.
President.
I need, Councilman Jackson, we are in the middle of public portion.
Okay, I need to
And-
speak.
And
I need to speak.
you are aware, right, that there's no rebuttal, there's no back and forth.
I
And
need
we're
to speak,
allowing the
Council President.
family to come here because you are correct, you deserve answers, right? But I don't want to do a show here and make it seem like we have information, because that's wrong. We don't have information right now. And so,
Council President.
That's not what we want. We didn't come here for a show. We didn't come
No,
here.
not you.
No,
I'm talking about my
we didn't come here to seek
colleagues. I'm talking
attention.
about
We didn't
to
come
start-
here for any of that.
Yeah,
we
no, no, no.
literally came here for answers. We all have a life. We all have children. We have a mother. We have
Yes.
a daughter. We have son. Of this man that can't sleep, can't eat. Okay? All I'm saying is the last human contact, also when there was a reporter and we spoke to Internal Affairs, the mayor said that they picked up someone in critical conditions around that area and dropped them off at 60 Temple. There was nothing stating that anyone was dropped off at 60 Temple in critical condition. There was nothing stating that there was anyone dropped off in critical condition in the hospital. And if that is the case, if you see that there is a missing person in your town and you as a person, human contact, as an officer, you're here to protect and serve, correct? So you're supposed to say, oh, that was the guy that I had human contact with. You know what? Damn, he's missing. Maybe I should tell his family where I dropped him off, or maybe that was the guy that I picked up, you know? But we don't have any of that. No, what we have is 2-3 different stories, and then 10 days later they tell us they have contact. We were here to see, because we do know that the mayor's in charge of the police officers. That was our main person to come see. But of course he's not here today. Let's try again next week or the
Council
next
President.
one.
He
You know?
does not
But that's
normally
just
attend.
pushing time to make everyone forget that the bigger picture is we need someone home.
yes, yes.
That's
Council
the bigger
President.
picture. We're not here for a lawsuit. We're not here to try to get attention. We're not here for any of it. We need a body. We need clearance.
Can you give me your name? Your name. Your name, because the person
My
that
name
put-
is Crystal.
Okay, so Crystal, I hope that the impression that you got when I said I was talking about the council, there is a process when we have meetings, the public portion, once you speak and your time is up, then there's no rebuttal. This is a little different. You're going through something right now, so I'm allowing it, right? But I don't want the council, because it's going to become a debate that
It's not
right now,
true,
we're
Council
not going to be
President.
able
May I
to settle.
have the floor,
That's
please?
why I was saying, and I made the statement about the show, not for the family.
I
So I wanted
understand.
to
I
just
just
put that
wanted
on
to make
record.
it very
Council
Councilman
President.
Jackson?
Thank you, Council President.
Council
So first of all,
Wait. This is what exactly I said. Each person is not going to speak.
Well,
Not
one
at
is
this
allowed,
time.
then we should be allowed as well.
Well, and I request the
Then that
floor
means no
first.
one
Okay, so, wait. So you are correct, Councilwoman Mims.
Council
All right?
President,
And
if I
this
may.
is the reason why. Councilman Jackson, can we wait for the
No,
public portion to finish?
No, we should not. This family is here for answers now. And I don't want to go on with rhetoric. I just want to point out a few facts. You know, and I think you should give every council member an opportunity to address this. They came here to address us, and we should not just be passing these things along. With all due respect, I respect Corporation Counsel's position. He is not the person that they actually came here to address, but he's standing in favor, and the BA failed to even answer, after the mayor, she's the second in charge of the city, by the way. But with all due respect to his commentary and his compassion for them, they came here for answers. And it's very simple, Council President. We know that they're always going to say, based on Attorney General guidelines, we can't give you information about an investigation. But where is the search party on Paterson's behalf is what they're saying. Where's the boats in the water? Where is the search party that's searching for this young man? So if we can't get answers on the investigation, and we can't get answers on whatever transpired with the police, and if that's an ongoing investigation, but what are we doing now after, obviously, we had something to do with this young man between the time he was last seen and the time he was missing? What have we done? What has this administration done? What has this mayor's office done? What has the BA done to try to circumvent these families' concerns? What efforts have we made to try to find this young man? They're not here to try to adjudicate police officers and or find police officers guilty. They're looking for their family member. So what, as this council body who has authority in the city, what are we mandating is done on their behalf to find their loved ones? Very simple. It's not that difficult of an equation. And for us to pacify and pass along simple answers like it's an internal investigation, it's the Attorney General guidelines, families don't want to hear that crap.
You already know
Okay.
Council President.
Thank you very much, Councilman Jackson. Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Council President. I well know the family. I've been having communication with them since day one. Also, I've been having communication with the Director of Police. According to the information I have, Director of Police, they have searched the river up and down with canoes and boats and all that stuff.
You
But
never communicated with
correct. That's what I want to talk. And that's what I want to talk. Madam BA.
I called you and you never communicated with me back. Why?
Because if they don't give me the answer, how am I going to give you false answers? So hold on.
Aunt's house, and he can come to my mother's house.
I know. Hold
to talk
on.
about the case. He went to my aunt's house
I know.
to talk about the case. The mayor
Just
went. I got a lot of messages to the
be
mayor.
with me.
Trying to speak to him on Instagram because he got Instagram. He put his wife. He put kids in the park.
Correct.
He never come to our house.
This is what I'm saying.
He goes to my aunt's house to speak about the case.
He only came
when it's election time.
Bobby, listen.
Only
Madam President.
Listen to me.
Madam President.
Councilman Mendez,
This
hold
is
on for a minute.
exactly, so please, I'm
So
gonna
let me
ask
wrap
the
up.
family. Councilman Velez, 1 second. Listen, I see the frustration. And
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm hearing you, okay? I just don't want you to think right here, I'm gonna be able to do something right now. But you best believe, after this meeting, you best believe after this meeting, you're gonna have answers. I'm telling you right now, you will have answers.
We're doing.
Okay,
Let me-
We provide everything that they
Let me finish what I want. Let me finish
I'm
my
gonna ask you-
request.
I'm-
Let
I
me
don't wanna
finish my
turn off-
request.
I do not
Let
want
me
to turn
finish
off the
my-
microphone.
Madam BA.
But I'm going to need you to
Council
finish.
President.
Then
Ma-
Councilman Mendez and Councilwoman.
Madam BA.
No, I was him first.
As you noticed tonight, they have go to A to Z with explaining where they have been, the information that they have, who have responded to him from 1 second. I need this administration to have a 24-hour, 7 days a week on the process they're doing with this situation. It's not just we looking. It's not just hang in there. It's not just let's see what happens. It's have strict communication with this family and let them know what step they're taking and not let them in the loop, okay? That's the first thing we have to have. Second, you have to advise, and corporate counsel, you have to advise the mayor of the city of Paterson to stop making statement without having a complete information of what happened or what occurred or any incident in the city of Paterson that compromised this city. Having individuals going into the media just because they want to come in Channel 12, okay, and saying that they dropped somebody ill in bad condition to a shelter, a blue, cold blue, I will take him to the hospital right away.
That was not the smartest.
So those statements, it's going to make us look bad.
And I have the recording.
Make it look bad.
It's not that we lie.
As an administration, and this is not the first, man, sir, this is not the first time it happened. It's not the first time it happened. Meanwhile, you have family suffering, you have family looking for answers, and nothing is happening. So I will request respectfully, treat this like a Beverly Hills kid. High class, hold on, high class.
Councilman
and try to do
Councilman Velez, please wrap up.
the best that this administration could do, put any resources to have communication with this family and make them comfortable of any procedure that the police is doing to try to recover this family member.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam President. Definitely, Crystal and Giovanni. Listen, I know you guys going through since you guys send me the information through Instagram. I've been reposting the information. You send me the information through Instagram, and a couple of times reposting. We've been in contact, and it's very disturbing to me. Very disturbing, and this is such a lack of a responsibility from this administration that the mayor putting information out there that, I mean, the only thing I'm gonna say is that I know Corporation Counsel spoke, but Madam BA, you represent this administration. You represent the mayor. please take everybody information. And tomorrow morning, the mayor, he should be in contact with a family, giving them the information that he has, because apparently he has information that we don't have, that you don't have, because if you have it, you should address this family. You know what they're going through, and this has been going on for quite a few days. I remember since it's happening, I've been posting that on my Instagram, and it's unacceptable what has been going on. I don't know what's going on with this mayor. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's just a lack of leadership that he has, and in such a responsibility way, putting information up there, and putting the city at risk. So please take all the family information, and tomorrow morning I hope that you guys get in contact with this administration. He should have you on his office, giving you information, details about what the step he's been following. Thank you.
Councilwoman
This
Mims?
is stupid.
This is...
You can't leave, Councilman.
This is like deja vu. There is a law in place that says when you have these type of situations, the commentary should be made from the Attorney General and the prosecutor. I've said it in other scenarios where there were erroneous comments made before the investigation was completed or it was detailed or outlined, and here is another situation. I have to thank your brother Jorge, or family member Jorge Rodriguez, that reached out to me.
It's my uncle.
And I said to him, tag all the council members. Tag everybody. Because while you're out there, you got your flyers, you guys, and it was heartbreaking. I don't know which one of you I spoke to, but it was heartbreaking on the phone to hear you talk about your mom and the situation. And it was like, okay, so what's happening? There's no movement. What is going on? And you know what's even more sad to me? That you had to come to the council meeting to get answers and to find out 20 days later, where's your family member?
It's going tomorrow. It's going to be 3 weeks.
20 days. He was last seen. And I'm going to put this to the public. Myself, Councilman Velez is not here, Councilwoman Cotton, we helped another family when her daughter was missing. We prayed, we got involved, and they eventually, found her daughter. We're very close to this mom. I've been praying for the return of your family member, and I've been on my social media page, tagging, sending it, telling people to share it, because anyone that can find the real answer is going to be God. Amen. And we're praying, but there is some answers to what happened on that particular night. And Ming, could you zoom in? I think Ming is on the camera. Can you zoom into this? Because I want the community at large. This is not about politics. This is not about running. You have a family who has a loved one that is missing. And everybody should be concerned. Everybody should say, what can I do? Give me some flyers. I'm asking you tonight. Bring them to my secretary, and I'll have my team go out, and I'll pass them out. I'll walk with you. Call me. Because your family member, when one person hurts, if it can happen to your family, it can happen to any one of our families. So we should be in this together. You're not by yourself. We're praying for you, and are we zoomed in? On February the 2nd, 2022, Felix Joel De Jesus, 41 years old, has not been seen since the night he was dropped off over near the Great Falls Youth Center on Front Street. He has not been seen since that night. If anyone knows anything, have seen anything, please reach out to this family. Reach out to the family, call the police department, 973-321-1111. Let's help this family return their loved one home safely. Our prayers go out to you. Thank you for coming tonight. I pray to the administration. Please, tonight, whatever it takes, do not politicize this situation. Their family member is not home. That's the last thing that anybody should be concerned about, politics. Oh, they said whatever. No, it has nothing to do with politics. If my family member, you guys are calm. Because if my family members were missing, I would have broke the podium if that was my situation. But you guys were calm, and we appreciate that, because you got to keep a level of decorum. But I'm saying to you as a family, keep doing everything. Keep passing out flyers. Keep posting on social media. Do it on WhatsApp. Do it on Instagram. Tag people, tag everybody. I see Commissioner Teague is a great activist back there. Make sure you reach out to everyone. Don't leave no stones unturned. And keep talking, calling the administration's office, calling the police department, talking to internal affairs. Every single moment matters. When someone is missing, you can't take any moment for granted. And while you're standing here, and I know it's said all the time, so many people are watching. Somebody might have seen something, so whatever, heard something, and I pray that within 24 hours that there is a response to your family. I'm praying for you. You have my number. If you need anything, please reach out to me, and I beg that something is done or resolved for this family.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Mims. To the family, I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna see you inside my office, so I'm gonna ask, I need a council member to come inside, and I'm going to take a break right now. Councilman Kalik, you take over.
Next
Can
speaker,
you
Madam
please
Clerk.
have a council member come in?
Yes, Mr. President. Kristen is is Kristen in the group? Kristen Nirish?
Christian Nieves, 79 East 12th Street,
Nieves, okay.
Paterson, New Jersey. I'm here for the same reason. He wants answers. These officers got answers. They got body cams. It's 2022. Them body cams, I drive trucks. When I cover my camera, my boss calls me. Why is your camera covered? Why these officers did not get that call? Why is your cameras not on? It's 2022. Code Blue, going back to the Code Blue day. Code Blue. Code Blue is in session for officers to help the homeless and take them to a shelter that has the doors open. That's what Code Blue is. The officers of Paterson, New Jersey, could pick up a homeless person, put them in the car, and take them to a shelter that's open doors to beat hypothermia, ammonia. This guy, my brother had a shirt on and picked up on Union Ave to get dropped off in a wooded area on Preakness Ave? Come on, man. Like, where's these officers' heart? When you become an officer, they ask you why you want to be an officer. Why? To protect and serve your community, right? Your society, the property of Paterson, New Jersey. That's what you're going to become an officer for, right? But what happens when that one officer, that one sour apple, messes it up for the rest of them? Because that's all it takes is that one high commander to be like, no, we're going to do it this way. And what they're going to do is follow. They're going to follow that one high commander because they don't want to get in trouble by him. So that's what happened in this situation. One good cop, one bad cop. That good cop today, if he's watching, I know today he's still dwelling. Like, damn, we could have called the ambulance. Jerry Spazzelli dealt with my brother before. We came out on cops. A gray Monte Carlos came out on cops. What Jerry Spazzelli did? The right thing. Call him an ambulance. What we did? 2 hours later, we went to see my brother. Guess where? In the hospital, sleeping. But he came home to us. But I'm a resident. Louis Velez know me very well. When houses burnt on B Street, I ran inside the store and I got water, cases of water to give to our Paterson Fire Department. I didn't have to do that. Did I? I didn't have to do that. When Corey, sucks to say, when Corey needed a ride to get in front of St. Joe's because we was protesting, and I had a sign that said, who do we call when police murder? Well, this ain't a murder. Who do we call when police ain't policing? That's what we want to know. When the police ain't doing the job, who do we call? Don't tell us Eternal Fears. Eternal Fears is with them. The head of Eternal Fears was an ex-narc. They with them. They eat together. At the end of the week, they laugh and they go drink together. We don't need that type of help. We don't need the answers, oh, he's just, it's under investigation. No, we know it's under investigation. For 3 weeks? For 3 weeks under investigation? And that's all my family's getting? Somebody had to see something. Them cameras had to catch something on them officers. Why is them officers still working today? We had a fireman that he was here earlier. He got what? Released? They dismissed him for false allegations. Huh? He lost his job. Why is these officers under investigation and still on the force? You know what they did? We found out. You want to know what they did? They put him in a different trooper car.
Right, in a different trooper car.
They took him out of that 111 and they put him in Another cop car, man. Why? What is this system hiding? How can they fail us? I've been here for 28 years. I come, I walk, I do what I have to do for a resident. Bro, if I see someone starving, Corby Louie was walking that day with a limp because he had a boot on. He ain't getting that little gray Honda Civic with me? Come on, let's go in front of St. Joe's. You ain't getting a gray Honda Civic? I ain't have to do that because I don't protect and serve this community, but I'm a resident of this community, and I felt good doing that. Why did these officers fail my brother? Why did they not call an ambulance? Why did they not take him to a shelter that's doors open on a cold blue day? That's the answers that we want to know. Why, and why?
Why take those officers off of patrol now from where they was at when they did it?
Bro, they out there roaming the streets now.
Because they're not in the same patrol car.
God knows what. Y'all gonna wait till it happens to another family to then be like, you know what? Let's get them off the streets. No, don't wait. It'll be too late by then. We're doing this peacefully with the help of the community, not the Paterson PD, not the Internal Affairs. The information that we got, we gathered it by ourselves. We ain't get no, we never went to college for this. There's people that go to school for this.
But we got it.
But we got more information than people that actually went to school for this? Come on, man, something's not right. This family needs answer, man. My family needs answer. We can't sleep. My friend, my brother, my childhood friend is not the same. He wakes up day and night looking for his brother, Kennedy, walking. I can't do it because I work. If not, I would have been right there with him.
There's garbage cans under things, places
Come
that
on.
you never thought you would search for a family member.
Bro, the people, like they say, the people put y'all here. Paterson, us. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. If a police ain't doing his job, you know what? Who's gonna police the police? That's the question y'all gotta ask yourself. Who's gonna police the police? Y'all want 100 more officers. How? If y'all, what y'all want, 100 more corruptions? Y'all want 100 more lawsuits for brutality? Huh? That's what y'all want? Y'all want to spend $5 million on lawsuits? Because these officers are coming from an academy. You got to start at the bottom. They don't just become officers. They go through an academy. Who was their recruiting officer? Who trained these people? Who trained these officers to be like that? Cold-hearted. I see a cat on a cold day and I want to take him to a shelter. An animal. This is a human being. A resident that when I hate to bring it up, he has a Honda Civic hatchback. We used to go to Honda Day. And you know what his name was? Joel Skunk 2 from Paterson, New Jersey. Representing Paterson, New Jersey. Why we can't do the same for him? That's what I'm saying, man. Hope it hits somebody, bro.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Next speaker, Mahmoud Rumi. Rumi? That person here? Next speaker, Mr. Elvis. May I continue, Council President?
Yes.
Next speaker, Elvis Durham.
How y'all doing? Mr. Elvis Durham, Paterson, New Jersey. That family need help, y'all. It's time out for us keeping quiet. Mayor Andre Sayer, I know you watching this. The family needs help. They need to know what happened to their family member. Enough is enough for playing games. It's sad, with all this stuff going on in this city, and it seems like nobody cares. The family need help. The money that the city got for the parks, my opinion, y'all should use that money into building community center buildings. That's my opinion. Just want y'all to know that, Burlington Curl Factory is coming to Center City Mall very soon. I would like for y'all to acknowledge Center City Mall. Also, a meat and fish market is coming soon on 174 Main Street. It's supposed to be a supermarket, but now it's going to be a meat market and a fish market on 174 Main Street, downtown Paterson, right next to SNA. Councilman Louis Velez, how you doing, man? Last time I was here, you waited till I left to say something, but I'm here. But now I'm gonna respond. You had said that I had dismanaged the council by saying that nobody don't do a good job. Oh, yes, I did. I'm not gonna take my word back. But I respect each and every one of y'all. But Councilman Louis Velez is running for mayor. But why are you running? Tell the community the reason why. To take votes away so Andre Sayer could remain mayor. You don't have the heart for the city. You don't have the heart for the people. You're a snake. And people see through you. And you don't care about the city. You care about yourself. And God see that. Louis Velez, Councilman, I'm speaking to you, sir.
I'm putting attention.
Okay, yes, pay good attention, because I am a community activist. I am the promoter for this city, and I would like for you to respect me. If you have anything to say to me, like when I have something to say to you, I come to you. Okay, but you waited till I left. That's what you call a punk. God bless you.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Next speaker is Mr. Teague, Corey Teague.
Good evening, Corey Teague, 65 Prince Street, Paterson, New Jersey. I just have a question for the residents of Paterson. We're coming up on the election on May 10th. My question is, when is enough enough? I want to give you guys a little history class. January 2019, a young man named Jameek Lowry walked into the Paterson police station. And our illustrious mayor went to the news and said, oh, he was high on bath salts. He went there and ran his mouth and said things that were not true about that young man. Let's fast forward to December 29th of 2021. December 30th, 2021. Young man by the name of Thelonious McKnight Jr. was gunned down by Paterson police officers. He did not have a gun on him. Being a forensic science student with a professor who is an attorney and a professional in forensic science, I was able to pull out the evidence and prove that, even with some pictures. Some of the pictures were so graphic that, I pulled them down. But when you contact the AG's office to try to get information, they still can't say who the gun belonged to. That's pretty serious, especially when that night the mayor said that Thelonious shot at the police officers. You look at that scenario and that whole situation, there's no way that you can prove that, just by the information that's there and the pictures that I received. He lied again. Then he's lying on this family here, the De Jesus family. They reached out to me the day that that young man went missing. I have all the inbox messages from them. I was sharing that information on Facebook and various outlets and doing our own searches in the community, but I did not make that public because it seems like every time I go public and say I'm helping a family, somebody reaches out to that family and tells them, don't let Mr. Teague help you because it's politics. Wow. Every single time I announce a family that I'm helping, somebody goes to that family and tries to find a way to have them. And then when they don't get the answers, they get upset. But I said, look, I was helping you to get those answers. So I'm telling folks out in the community, if you need answers and you want me to advocate for you, do not let anybody get in your ear and tell you not to let me help you. Because they're not going to help you. They just don't want you to get the help. Because if they were very concerned about you getting the help, they would reach out to me and they would let you know that I'm able to help you. Like Dr. Mims made it very plain. I am an activist in this city and I'm here to help. I want to give the council a little history. November 30th, Wednesday, November 30th, 2011, Councilman Morris was on the council at the time. They conducted a committee of the whole on Mayor Jones over the overtime with the Hurricane Irene funds. They went after him. They had a committee of the whole. They had it set up. They questioned him. They ended up firing people from his administration. Mr. Pettiford and several others were terminated after that investigation. And that investigation happened immediately. And their comment was, the councilman at the time, his comment was, the community wants answers. And the community wants to know what happened. So now we're at another place. We're at another place right now where we have a potential misuse of city property and city funds. Why can't we have an investigation? Especially when this is a fire chief who I have personally people that I'm trying to advocate for, African Americans who have been mistreated under his leadership there. I can even bring them here to the council meeting. Some of them have been here before and they've been turned away. So why can't we have the committee of the whole now? When Jeff Jones was in that seat, they came after him with full force. And it seems like now everything is kind of mellow. At what time is enough going to be enough? This man has not proven that he really cares about the city of Paterson. He's proven that he can get some contracts. He's proven that he can make some deals. He's proven that he can make some backroom, what do you call that? Backroom contracts. He's proven a lot of that, but I'm talking about caring for the city of Paterson. I have not yet decided who I want to back fully for the mayor's race, but we got to understand when we're not under good leadership and when somebody's just using us as a pawn. All right? I hope you guys remember and understand that.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Speaker, Ms. Wahida Mohani.
With God's name, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to start off by saying, I don't know if any of you can sit there and not feel that this is a night that nobody in their right mind would want to feel what that family is feeling right now. None of us would want to go through that. And for us to make them feel like there is nothing we can do just sickens me every time I hear that. Now, I'm going to start off with this whole Hinchcliffe Stadium thing, because I remember when we all was excited about Hinchcliffe Stadium, because we were promised that there were going to be jobs, career-changing jobs for people of Paterson, and that they were going to get those jobs. And now you're going to tell me 2 people from Paterson is working at that falls? And we have nothing to say about it? Because you all signed the agreement. Because if you didn't have anything to do with it, the developer wouldn't have had to come before you. He wouldn't have had to talk to you if you didn't have anything to do with it. So now you sit there and you say, oh, it's the mayor. I'm so sick of hearing it's the mayor, I don't know what to do. And this whole thing with Director Gilmore, it just sickens me every time I think about it. That we will take a man who has proven that he's a person of integrity and was looking out for this city, but we allow his whole life to be turned upside down because he was showing what was happening in this city. And people know, you know that. But you sit there and you hold your little side meetings when we are talking and you act like you could care less what we are saying. But see, I know that it's because you have already made the deal with the devil and you have decided that there was nothing you was going to do about it. And you sit there because you want to go to your little executive session, you want to go home, because your job is paying you very well. Some of you have now made sure that your jobs have made you a nice cushion that you don't have to worry about the city of Paterson, because now you have made it where you don't have to worry. So you sit there looking nonchalant about us, because as far as you're concerned, when we come here, it's too much for you to sit and listen to us. So you get up and walk out, or you get up and you just conversate with each other like it doesn't matter. But I can tell you, my God says anyone that helps a good cause will get the blessings. But anyone that helps with the bad one, you will get that too. And your time is coming. Now, the other thing I want to say real quickly is because when I read that the director of the health department didn't know that he was supposed to sign in and out. Did you remember what you did to DPW when they weren't signing in and out? You all raised hell about them not doing what they were supposed to do. And you went so far as to get this new equipment that can make sure people are signing, but yet and still he does what he does and nobody says anything because it's okay, because it's the mayor. But I tell you, it is coming. And for you to sit there like you don't have any respect for the community sickens me to my soul. And I don't know how many other people can keep coming, but see, I don't come because I think you care about me. I come because I care about those that are not here. And like I've always said to my children, they said, Mommy, why do you always go to the front? I said, because I'm going for those that couldn't go. So I'm going to continue to come here. And I know you could give a damn about what we are going through. Because you're making your $200,000. You're making whatever it is that you're making. And the mayor has made sure that you're on different things that bring you some money. So you don't have to care about us. But guess what? We're not going anywhere. God bless.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, there are no more speakers on the public portion. May I have a motion?
Can I have a
Move to
motion?
close. Second.
Move to close by Councilman Velez, second by Councilman Abdulaziz. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the public portion of the regular meeting of February 22nd, 2022. Councilman Abdulaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will be brief. We're closing on the public portion. But before I close, I just want to mention something that one of the speakers, Mr. Rocker, touched, and it's this situation that need to be happening. That community as a whole is have to take place. I'm very concerned and disturbed by what I hear today, that this mayor has a private function using city employees, filling out petition. That's concerning. Those are taxpayer dollars that this mayor is using, and they have to be investigated. So I hope that we could come into the agreement to have a committee as a whole. Another speaker mentioned what happened with the last administration with Mayor Jones. This governing body, some of the council members that used to be here before, they put that committee together and they took action, and they took the investigation took place. And that's our responsibility right now, to put that committee as a whole and hold this administration accountable for all of that. There was other mayor that served time for less than that of what I hear tonight. So I hope that we get the support to put that committee as a whole and sit down with this administration, because they have to explain not only to us, they owe an explanation to the taxpayer, to the resident of the city of Paterson. And I just mentioned this over and over. This one Paterson institution, this administration, this mayor, he's doing a mix and match with this. And transparency is key. It's key. When you're the higher officer in the city, so you have an entity that nobody knows who donates money to your entity, and you use that entity as you wish. No, you're the mayor of the city. So I hope that we could get the support to put that committee as a whole, Mr. Rucker, and hold this administration accountable, because it's just disturbing what we hear in this council. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mims.
It's it's hard, sitting in this council and watching and listening to the residents that come to the mic. But when you're in the community and you listen to the disappointment and the disgust in our community, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And to see the treatment, the disrespect, and almost the lack of concern for the things that really matter to the people makes it worse. sitting here, people are watching. I get text messages, and the following day we're in the community. And we hear, it's heart-wrenching, Paterson, and I, we're not just elected officials, we live here too. So we feel the same thing that you're feeling. And it's just heart-wrenching. I don't even have words. I'm just full. Like, it just reminds me of the Bridgewater situation, watching the video of the disparaging treatment. And it's similar to what's happening right here in the city of Paterson. It's embarrassing, it's heart-wrenching, and our forefathers fought so hard to make sure that we had seats at the table and that we were part of the process. And to see what's happening is very disturbing. I hope we vote on the committee of the whole. I am definitely in support of doing that. We definitely need to do an in-depth look at it, and I am definitely in support. So if it's called forward, I will be voting in the affirmative, because Paterson, we deserve better. I'm just gonna put that on the record. We deserve it, we're entitled to it, and there should be no more excuses. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You know, we could agree when it comes up to public portion and listen to the community, the way they conduct themselves and they express themselves. It's a public portion. Is they exercising the free speech and bringing forward, concerns that's going on out there. And I respect everyone that comes in that public portion and express themselves. You know, I agree with you, Councilwoman Dr. Liz Mintz, that we need to start putting an end and all these scenarios that's going on behind the curtains. And we need to bring them forward in these chambers to make it responsible and accountable what they was elected for. You know, my commitment is you. You know, my commitment is you. It's the people time. Way before being council, everybody knows how much I love this city, how much I love my constituents, and what I do when I'm out there. Mr. Durham expressed that I make my comments way after he left. He left again. Why? We in political season. We in election times. So everybody's going to be using that podium and attack any of us and decide, no matter what. You know, he used some strong words, but I bless him. I bless him because God had taught me that way. Bless those that do those kind of work up here in the council. But my commitment is you, is the people time, and the reason I'm running. If you're happy what you see out there, go ahead. Continue voting the way you want to vote. When you look at the high crimes and you look how the business owners not being treated fair, when you look at the quality of life that is not treated fair. I just received a text, another business owner got a hold up, and they still waiting for the cops to show up. They got robbed. In the Bronx, they call it hold up. So this is the things that are why I'm running for. And hey, God bless those that like me, and God bless more those that do not like me. Trust me, God is good. My vote is yes. Thank you, Madam President, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Rivera, we're closing the public portion.
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 8 in favor, 1 absent. The public portion of the regular meeting is now closed.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, it's almost 10 o'clock, and I know that we have a few business owners here, and today we're actually taking action. So, council members, I'm going to proceed with the 2 items. I see council here, so I want to be able to do that so then they can leave. And sorry, but I truly do apologize, okay? But I'm going to proceed, okay? So, we're not gonna go into the executive session. We're gonna take the two items, the two businesses that are here that we asked them to come, all right? I know Councilman Abdelaziz, so we know we have the second ward.
It's more than three,
And,
I'm sorry, Council President. I think it's more than three.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Madam
We
Clerk.
have,
Number 30 to
well,
35.
there's one
Five,
owner
I think.
for three, and then we also have,
Right, we have 33 here, we have,
32,
what is this
there's
other
three
one?
items for one owner.
I know that 35 is not here, but that's the one that we had gone through workshop, and Councilman, Second Ward Councilman Kalik, our Vice President, had indicated that once the suspension was done, they paid
Okay.
to move forward to have it here, so the gentleman isn't here.
Is he here? The one for Union Avenue, correct?
35 is not here. Oh, you are? Oh, okay,
I
oh, I'm
think everyone
sorry.
is here.
I was told you weren't coming.
I think everybody is here for all the
Okay,
different
so
items.
good, so we're gonna do it this way.
Okay,
We're gonna go,
33.
we're gonna go 31,
okay, 1 second.
32, 33, 34, and 35. In that order,
So 31.
because everyone is here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. We had a lot of discussion on this, so we could just vote.
That is correct, council members. Madam Clerk, item 30 for the record.
31?
31.
Is that correct, Council President?
31.
I'm sorry, no, it's 30. It's 30. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35.
1 second.
Right, so item 30 and item 32 are two, actually, it's three. 30, 31, and 32
Okay,
are different renewals, but same entity.
okay. Can we read all three since they're
I
the same
believe,
owner?
yes, we can. Put them
Okay.
all into the record,
So we
30,
just-
31, 32.
Okay, so we'll read item 30, 31, and 32, because that's one owner for all those three. So item number 30, these are resolutions on the non-consent agenda. Resolution number 30, resolution addressing renewal of a coin-operated amusement device license for Mancora Lounge LLC, one pool table located at 89 Prospect, 1st Ward, Finance Resolution 22115. Item number 31, resolution addressing renewal of a dance hall license for Mancora Lounge LLC, located at 89-91 Prospect Street in 1st Ward, Finance Resolution 22116. Item number 32, resolution addressing an entertainment show license renewal for Mancora Lounge LLC, located at 89-91 Prospect Street, 1st Ward, Finance Resolution 22117.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Mims.
Roll call.
Councilman Velez.
Excuse me, Councilman, there is no roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll call the roll call in its
I was
minute.
thinking loud. That's
So I want to, provide the opportunity for the applicant, if they have anything they want to say before we proceed. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
I do have the owner here. Good evening. My name is Teresa Richardson. I'm the attorney for Mancora Lounge, and the owner, Mr. Perez, is here with me this evening. We're looking to get the renewal on the three applications for the coin-operated equipment, as well as approval for the dance hall and entertainment license.
I don't know.
I understand the concern that the board had with regards to a police report indicating that 41 calls were made over the last year at this location. There's been change in management. My client's done a lot to improve, the operation of the business. The owner, is hands-on, as well as his new manager, both on site. The other concern was they had three primary concerns that the report indicated that there was a film over or tent over the windowing. That's all been abated. It's all new windows placed into the, so that it's open from the outside, so that if police ride by, they can see what's going on. The other thing was the hookah. There was an application for an outside extension that never got completed for whatever reason. That's no longer an activity that they have at the location. Primarily, those were the three things that all four people at the time at the location got charged with. The hookahs, the tents, some of the records in the location weren't there because some of the books were maintained in a different location, which are administrative violations. Nothing at all to do with these license and the application for the dance hall license, the coin opera, nothing to do with that at all.
Okay.
So
Is
that's
that
why
all?
we're proceeding. Thank you.
Anything else to say? You're done, right?
That's it.
Okay, you can have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President.
No. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President.
I think we had a big debate last
Yes.
week. Got out of here after, I got home at 1 o'clock in the morning. So anyone that wants to make a statement, you have 2 minutes when you're voting, right before you vote. So Madam Clerk, roll call on items 30, 31, and 32.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call on items 30, 31, and 32. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say that when I'm looking at some of this paperwork here that we have, I think I had stated it last week about some of the stuff I really didn't understand why they were being charged or whatever you want to call it. But I think now that with the new owner, you're on alert of what you need to get done, what you need to get, make sure that your business is in a community, and you got to remember one thing: you are in the community, so you need to respond to the community around you. So that's so very important. Get to know everybody around in the neighborhood, so this way you can continue to stay in business. Madam Clerk, with that being said, you are noticed. You understand that. I know you do. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's just amazing that, certain times people want to hold businesses accountable for things that the responsibility actually falls on the administration that's failing at what they're doing. We fail to add the protections to businesses to make sure that whatever's taking place outside doesn't matriculate in. I've known the gentleman for quite some time, way back from when he had another restaurant on 10th Avenue, and he also, had another location. He's always been a very respectable business person. The only concern that I have, or only question that I have, which we can have this conversation down the line, I know that the parking facility across the street, there was an attempt to reach out to all the surrounding businesses just to make sure that there was some type of shared services agreement. And I was told that the businesses that were there opted out of participating. So we should have that conversation because you guys, when you do large scale businesses, you're gonna need that parking. And so we can revisit that later. But anyway, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kalik.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. For clarification, there is no new owner. It's the same owner who has been there previously. And it's clearly on this report, on August 14th last year, there was a ABC and narcotic did an investigation. They arrested 2 managers and 1 employee for violations. Obviously, there was some wrongdoing. They're giving out 17 citations. Nobody can say no. Everything is right there on the report. Are they friendly neighbors? I don't think so. We keep talking about quality of life, quality of life. I don't see it. And just looking at those 17 violations, top of that, people getting arrested, the manager of that place, definitely my vote is no.
Thank you. Councilman Mims?
So I commend any establishment during this time of COVID that had to endure any type of closure, loss, and, you know, it's just a hard time for the families, not knowing if you were directly impacted by COVID. And this process that you endured with the council is a necessary process because it makes, you know, it keeps us accountable, but it also holds you accountable as the owners. But one thing I do respect, and I've known Ms. Teresa Esquire for a very, very long time, that you make sure you have legal representation to go through the items. And we have to do a little bit more cleanup as well, because there's some items that really don't pertain to, that should have been listed, right, in what you were doing. It should not be listed, then we can't hold you to those things. But as we move forward, and prayerfully you will be approved tonight, I can't answer for other colleagues, but just make sure that whatever those situations have been, proactively make sure you put measures in place and safeguards, not just for your establishment, but for people that will come in, that will frequent it, and especially as I'm saying the pandemic is lowering. I don't want it to be say that I said it was over, but it's lowering, that you'll get people that will come in and patronize your business. So with that said, I don't want to see any business not be able to open, because I know your families feel the brunt of that. So I'm gonna go and vote in favor of family and the need for you to have sustainability. And I don't know if you have children, but I'm a mom, and I feel when you cannot take care of your family because of loss of revenue. So with that said, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera?
So you have heard the discussions that have gone on here. So to you or any business owner in the future, you know, the council expects a lot from you.
Yep.
Let's make sure that you handle yourself in the best manner possible. But I have to concur with Councilwoman Mims. You know, we're not here to, you know, close businesses that are at least trying to address certain issues that they had. All I'm gonna say is you do have, you know, it looks like it's gonna pass. You're gonna have your entertainment license. Let's make sure you do the best to keep it. That's all I could say. My vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Velez?
We're here to entertain 30, 31, 32. All those three applications came for us. The requirement that this application requires to have is a CO, fire inspection, health inspection. That's what the application requires to have. The matters of the call of service, they are there. And they have complied with the proper courts or whatever intel to resolve whatever issue you have. That's why I asked those questions the last time that we was in the meeting. And I want to bring this forward. Yesterday, there was a fatal shooting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon in front of 999 Market Street. I bet you when they call the call of service for that, okay, they're gonna say it was in the bonfire, or it was in front of the bonfire, and it's closed. So when discoveries comes, and I know Ms. Richardson well good, we was in the ABC fighting for a place, and we did a good job closing the place, right? I did a good job. But when discovery comes in and paperwork comes in, we need to read it right and make sure that intel and tied up the real owner and real property, et cetera, et cetera. So they had complied with the requirement to apply, the rights to apply for this license for their businesses. But one thing I gotta say as a councilman in that ward, and newly assigned in that section of the ward, we have the right to revoke licenses too. We have the right to revoke. We don't have the right to pull you 3-month period probation. We don't have that because the licenses are a year extended, right? 1 year, you pay for 1 year. But please, I will advise you, keep your nose clean, make sure everything's conducted right. If I hear things that is out of the way and is affecting the quality of life in the area, trust me, I will bring that license to make sure it's revoked. okay? But make sure you conduct yourself right. And if you have any issues, you guys got my number, 24/7, making sure your property and your business prosper in the city of Paterson. So my vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President?
So, although appreciated, I don't think I've ever had I don't know anyone in the room. I don't know the new manager. I don't really know who the owner is. I don't know the Esquire. So this is impersonal. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. When I'm looking at an entity and I look at reports, and I've stated it before, when it comes to the piece of those calls to service that are being provided because we requested through the administration, and it's given to, for example, the ABC, department, right? Those calls go through records. That's where we get the calls, right? All calls to service go into a system, a CAD system. So when I'm looking at reports to support or not support an entity or a license, I'm not looking at, oh, the call because somebody blocked the driveway. I'm not looking at none of that. I'm looking at our code, and if there is anything that violates the code. This establishment has had numerous situations, right? Forget about it, right? We're talking this year, because that's what we normally say. Within this year, I don't want to discuss what happened last year with another issue, but it's still in my mind because it's a business that has had numerous issues. They bought legal with them. This was not a court. This is not a court. This is not a hearing. This is, and I understand it and I respect it. And I'm gonna say it again. It is not personal. But I am right in my conviction. I cannot support these licenses. Right. Nothing against the owners. Nothing against the manager. I met the manager for the first time maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And I asked him, because he actually came in with someone, and I asked him, has there been any issues? He didn't share that he was arrested within his time. He did not share that. And so afterwards, then I find out, now I'm saying, what else are you withholding, right? But with that said, listen, you all see here, the owner is here, and so is the manager. Your licenses, all of them have passed. But I, in my right conviction, I cannot support it. So, Madam Clerk, my vote is no.
Thank you, Madam President. The vote is 6 in favor, 2 against, 1 absent. Items 30, 31, and 32 is hereby adopted.
You can pick up your licenses tomorrow.
33?
Council President?
No, we're gonna continue.
I'm sorry, Council President, just very, very quickly, I just want to make one point. Please, I apologize. Just, if you allow me some more. Because I think it sends the wrong narrative, and as a person who is an owner of an ABC license, who has
That's
to
why
go.
maybe you should know.
But I have to go through the same scrutiny, and I want to make sure it's fairly done across the board.
They have their licenses, it's passed.
I understand that, Council President, but it says clearly that they were arrested for smoking hookahs, or the hookahs were being smoked inside the building. And if we're gonna do that at certain locations, I think that needs to be fairly done across the board, around the entire city. And we should not be singling out certain businesses in certain areas, arresting people, because it says clearly what it was about. And acknowledging that that's a wrongdoing, but we can't do it in certain areas. And that's a measure that the administration has to make sure of. So I wanted to put that on record.
Right, thank you very much. So you can pick up your licenses tomorrow, okay? You have a good night. The next one is item 34, and this one...
You didn't want to do 33?
I'm sorry. Oh my, I'm sorry, I did it. Okay. I checked off the wrong one.
That's
so we did 30, 31, and 32. 33.
Yes, next
33.
item is item number 33, resolution addressing a new entertainment show license for Corona, LLC, trading as Super Corona. Corona is 991 Madison Avenue in the 6th Ward. Finance Resolution 22118.
Okay.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Velez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mims and Mendez.
Council President?
Discussion? Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yeah, so
This is your
from our,
ward.
yes, this is my ward. We had a good discussion and workshop. I want to make a motion to amend number 33, addressing this entertainment license to be a 3-month entertainment license. And then we've done this before, and we had this discussion in workshop. So I'd like to amend number 33, make a motion to amend it to a 3-month entertainment license.
Council President, can I clarify that? Because I
There's no
spoke to-
discussion, it needs a second. Want to
What?
second it? You could.
Okay.
I'm doing 3. Can you motion second?
Have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second for the amendment?
Councilman Cotton.
Okay, there is an
Discussion.
amendment.
Discussion, we have an discussion.
Okay.
Council President?
Madam Clerk, there first has to be a vote for the amendment.
No, they got a discussion on the amendment.
Okay.
They can discuss it first and
Okay.
before I do the vote.
So discussion,
Amendment.
Councilman Jackson? Councilman
Thank you,
Velez?
Council President. First, Council President, and this is from common past practices, there is no such thing as a 3-month license.
Right.
It's either an approval or a disapproval. It's a 1-year license. It's been the practice in the past. I know Corporation Council had made a ruling, I think last week or the week before, which said that this would be permitted. But even in the past, we've never done this because there is no such thing as a 3-month license.
Okay, so
Ca-
hold on a
Council
minute. This
President,
wait.
no.
Corporation
Hold on.
Council wants to address Councilman Jackson's statement. So Corporation Council?
Yes, thank you, Council President. The statute does provide for license, issuances of licenses for less than a year, and I'm looking to provide the specific section, which I was looking at right before Councilman Jackson started, and now I can't find. But if you'll indulge me for a second, I certainly will cite it. Okay, so Section 203-3 states issuance of license, contents, grounds for denial. The license shall be issued by the licensing division after approval thereof by the council and shall specify the place and the period. And in parentheses, it says days, weeks, months,
Thank you.
or year during which the performance, show, entertainment is authorized to be given. So Councilman Jackson, to the extent that I gave a previous inconsistent opinion, I'll own that. I apologize for that. But I think the statute does make that clear. And I'll also note for the record that in our due diligence and anticipation for tonight, I also had my second assistant look at this as well, and he agreed with that determination. Thank you.
Council President.
Council President,
One second, because it's.
is me, because he already spoke after the
Okay.
discussion.
Velez, Kalik.
So, Corporate Counsel, Madam President, to Corporate Counsel, you read that part quickly and fast, and it should be displayed soon as the license is honored, if it's 1 day, it's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We got different licenses in the state of New Jersey regarding alcohol and all that stuff. Probably because a 1-day license is honored, they had to display the 1-day license. If is in this case, we have on the record licenses that are renewed yearly. The health board, the Board of Health licenses yearly. The CO or whatever licenses is yearly. To be able to establish and this is, we need to then amend the ordinance of licensing to reflect that we could put 3 months, 6 months, or a year. Because right now, when Councilman Abdelaziz say that we have done it before, we haven't done it that since my predecessor was here. Councilman,
Can you complete your statement, please? Don't complete.
So in the past, what the councilman did that time, and it was in 2012, with one license in the 5th Ward, is that was renewed for 1 year, but he stated, and I'm gonna go way back, and you can look at the record, he stated that between this year, I'm going to put this license in probation for 3 months. If they commit any violation, we're gonna bring it back to revoke. That's what that councilman said in that time. So, and the councilman that was sitting in the Fifth Ward before. Yes. So if you want to go back on the record in 2012, when we was issued a license, and matter of fact, it was with that time it was called Princess Dover Street Club, what is the Chiflada now? All right. So in that Dover club, it was Macau in that time. He put that closure in the vote. I say, I'm going to give you 3-month probation, even if you have a year. If something happens, I'm going to bring your license in, and then we're going to revoke it if anything happens. So I think that's better suitable. We're going to comply for 1 year because they paid the license for the whole entire year. Well, we're going to refund them the other money, or what are we going to do? So things have to be amended in the license rules or whatever we have to reflect 6 months or a year or 3 months.
Okay.
And then they come here every 3 months and then they renew. But
Thank you very much, Councilman Velez. Corporation Counsel? You're good, okay. Councilman Kalik? Councilman Kalik, then you can, Councilman Abdulaziz.
Council President, I don't have any question. By law, I think if it is possible, we should do it with not only this entity, any entity that come in front of us with serious violation, we should do a probationary licensing, and then the full licensing should be issued. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Councilman Abdulaziz?
Thank you,
And then
Council
Madam
President.
Clerk, you'll be-
And Council President, and I actually respect what Councilman Kalik has stated. There's a method to my madness. And to my council colleagues, and I want to specifically say this to the council of the Fifth Ward, this was done last year to Hornitos. They were in front of us. You're probably not paying attention, and that's the fact. We've done this before. So there's a method to my madness here, right? It worked with that establishment, my council colleagues. There was no issue. They picked up their license the next day, but they said, we need to be good neighbors. To the residents of the Sixth Ward, look at these people that are running in May. We're going to remember this. We're going to remember this because we're not denying this applicant their license. He actually agreed to it at the workshop the other day when we spoke. And what's funny, Council President, the councilman from the Fifth Ward said he wanted to do a temporary license on something else in the ward. I'll go to the records and put that. But remember, folks, I'm putting this amendment on the floor because I do care about quality of life. And Councilman Kalik, you're absolutely right. If any ward councilman put this amendment on the floor for something in their ward, I'll support it 200%. 200% because it worked in my ward. I had 50 residents. Councilwoman Mims was in that meeting when we met. Councilman Rivera was in that meeting, and Councilman Davila. We said, you know what, we're going to allow you to open, but it's going to be temporary. You're going to show us that you're going to be community members and help out in the area. I'm not saying that corner is a hot corner, like it or not. I'm not saying it's your fault. But what we're asking is for you to be a good establishment so the residents in that neighborhood could have a safe environment. Be part of the process, not part of the problem. I'm not stopping him from opening. This is just for him to get his 3 months, and then he'll come back. If we have no issues, it'll be on consent agenda. I don't get what's the issue. We've done this before. And if you know what, if the First Ward councilman did that on the prior application, I would support it 200%. I'll yield to the ward councilman.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking, Council President. We're not stopping the individual. We've done this before, so when I hear that we didn't do it, we did at Hornitos. I'll ask Madam Clerk to pull the records. Madam Clerk, actually, I'm going to put this request. Could you email that resolution for Hornitos for an entertainment license and send it to the entire council to see who voted on that temporary license? And then the renewal, I think, went on consent because I commended them. I commended them for being good neighbors, and I'm confident that this individual, your client, is going to be part of the solution on that corner. right? Because that is a hot corner. And if we don't do anything now, the quality of life is going to go down the drain, and it's going to get worse than what it is. I need businesses to be business-friendly, neighborhood-friendly to the residents. And there's some things in this application that I addressed in the workshop that I thought that wasn't good. And now we're giving him his 3 months in this amendment, and then if it's all good, it'll come back for the rest of the year. This is what we do in education. This is what we do
Thank you.
with many things.
Thank
you, Council President.
Thank you very much. So, before we take the vote, is there anything you want to say?
Madam President and members of the council, I thank you very much for letting us appear here this evening. I'm standing in for another attorney, Frank Ciro, for Mr. Martinez, excuse me. And we thank you very much for the hard work that you've all put in at the workshop and elsewhere, reading the documents. And I know that my client understands what kind of hard work you put in, and for that I thank you, and I'm sure he thanks you very much. And I'd like to ask Mr. Martinez if he'd like to say anything to you.
Right, actually, I was going to do that.
Of course.
Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, thank you for understanding. But I want to say something about the corner, the hot corner that he's talking about. Super Corona has no problems at all. The problems come from Banana King, and you should know that. There's no police over there. Everybody go to the place after parties, drunk. And the problem is in that area, not me. I'm close. Thank you for everything.
Okay,
Thank
I'm gonna just say, are you okay and you agree to the 3
Yes,
month?
I'm totally agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you'll come back, and I'm sure that you're going to do your best to make sure that you continue having order inside your establishment,
Thank you.
okay? All right, so if, I don't see
We
why
gotta vote on
not
it.
support something. Right, Madam Clerk, I'm gonna ask for the vote. Roll call, I'm sorry.
Yes, roll call on the amendment, right, for 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Abdelaziz, and
Yes.
for item number 33.
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan on the amendment.
Item 33.
We are amending this resolution to give them for 3 months. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So first and foremost, let me say this. One thing you can't argue about, is especially if he's quoting off the law, if there's a capacity, then that's, the possibilities are there. But I'll say this, in past practices, not that, because there was a lot of, I specifically remember Councilman McCoy saying that, and then Corporation Counsel confirmed it, but sometimes around here you got to do your own due diligence because you can't trust some of the information that's given out. But that, in the past, it was some poorly disseminated information. But I'll say this, I have to be honest, and I know this is isolated, but the report that was given in the other location is very, very concerning. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm definitely, because the councilman is right. It's his ward, he knows the situation best. I am familiar with that corner, and I do agree with you. I never see any incidents out of that location. But based on some of the information given today and given the opportunity to have to revisit it in 3 months, I think that there's some, this could be fairly used for a lot of other businesses, because there's a lot of other businesses that negligently commit infractions, and then they're given a whole year to prepare themselves for the following year. It's nonsense. But anyway, with that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik?
My vote is yes for amendment, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
The reason I stayed before what I stated is because I spoke to licensees downstairs, that they renew licenses for a year, that we had the right to revoke if something happens during that year. I don't know if they don't understand in the other side over there, but yes, look at me. People of Paterson, I am running for mayor, and I have to explain what they told me downstairs. But to be able to be in the safe part, I would recommend in the application, they put a column to leave in the approval in the bottom based on the report, 3 months, 6 months, a year, for we could check mark which one we agreed, right? Instead of going back and forth in this dilemma. And Mr. The owner of this place, as my council colleague stated, I never saw a problem coming out of that place, but yes, from the restaurant on the corner, hanging out till 3 o'clock in the morning, and that place is open 24 hours, and nobody say nothing. But we can't say nothing because they don't get entertainment license. But if this administration was clear enough about quality of life, they should put those businesses that open 24 hours, send them home at the same time that you close your business to see we have peace in the city. Everybody hang out in there, and they know. And I could mention a lot of places in the 6th Ward. After hours party, drugs all over, cleanliness, bad. I could mention you with pictures and everything. So my vote is yes on this.
Thank you, Madam President.
So,
And hookahs all over.
Councilman, I
I'm
have
sorry.
the floor. So it is obvious, Mr. Martinez?
Yes.
Okay. That you have 8 members that have agreed. And I was coming today, you know, as I've been standing on firm about the quality of life and just around and looking at the reports. And again, I put on record, I'm not looking at the calls to service that somebody's parked in somebody's driveway or whatever, because I understand. I always want to know what's happening inside. And just based on the information that I have, I cannot support it, okay? But you have 8 other members. You have your license for 3 months. You continue to be that good neighbor, okay? And you control what's inside. But there's also something you can also do on the outside as well, okay? So, you know, I understand you, I just can't support this right now. As I've said with the other one, and I'll continue, I'm not going to be able to support it. Madam Clerk, my vote is no.
You're welcome, Council President. The vote is 8 in favor, 1 against. The amendment and item number 33 is approved.
Okay.
So may I have a...
Roll call.
I will do a roll call to adopt this for the 3 months as amended.
Correct.
Roll call on item number 33 as amended. Councilman Abdulaziz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to thank my colleagues. This is another tool in our toolbox that we could use to hold some of these establishments accountable and being a good neighbor. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm your councilman in the 6th Ward. I'm a solutions type guy. All right, I'm not here to point fingers. I want you to be part of the community, and when there's issues going on in that corner, be part of the process, assist the police officers, assist the residents. I'm making sure that that neighborhood stays safe, right? You have this for 3 months. I'll be on top. I'm very, I'm always in communication with the residents in that area, with the business in that area. My tailor is right next door to you, right? So I'm there all the time. I am gaining some weight, so I go to tailor a lot. So with that being said, I look forward to you being a good neighbor. So thank you again, my colleagues. In the 6th Ward, we take quality of life very, very seriously, and I take it very seriously. So if you're going to go bad with this, we're going to hold you accountable. And one thing with our ordinance that allows us, we could always repeal entertainment licenses.
Right.
It doesn't have to wait.
Correct.
So if things go off the tracks in these 3 months, you best believe that I'm going to be here trying to repeal that. All right? My vote is yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Khan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now, I really didn't know, but I'm listening to my 6th Ward councilman where your business is, and you do have that Banana King there. And they have a lot of problems. We can't issue them no license because they all night long over there, double parking, everything. I don't care if you come there 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they out there, all kind of stuff. So, No, we ain't got no license. How we take the business license?
Councilwoman, we're voting.
I'm sorry. Well, anyhow, I've come through there. I've gotten off of work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I can see the stuff. But since you agreed with the councilman here in the 6th Ward about the 3 months, I'm going to go along. You agree with that too. So with that being said, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Just a little correction. Every business that does business in this city is accountable, and they all have to have licenses, whether mercantile licenses, food licenses. Well, you know, that's where you have to have the administration being accountable. When you have these businesses that's dumping garbage in front of their place and putting furniture on the sidewalks, it's very simple to hold them accountable, write summonses and rescind their license. Don't issue them a license. Don't allow them to do business. Do like every other civil community or municipality does. No, you can't do business in our city. So, but I mean, on this item, understanding the context of it, my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Khalid?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
I would like the administration of my corporate counsel to check into the surrounding city. In the past, they used to have a closure time. Every business had to have a closure time. And that's had to be back in our agenda. You know, I know other city has it at 9 o'clock for barber shops and other stuff and grocery stores and et cetera, et cetera. We need to bring that back because a lot of businesses create that problem and other people are taking the responsibility of that problem. So at this time, I could mention a lot of places in other wards that I see that doing worse than you guys, okay? So, especially the hookah thing. From some places it's culture and from other places you can't do it. I don't understand that. So, or you approve it for everybody or nobody's approved. My vote is yes on this, and I agreed on the statement of Councilman Abdelaziz that he wants 3 months. If you break the law or something happens in 2 days, we could bring it back to the council and revoke it. So, hey, no matter 3 or 4 or 5 months, it's from now to the end of the year. I want you to operate the right way.
Okay.
My vote is yes.
Thank you. Madam President?
No.
The vote is 8 in favor, 1 against. Item number 33 is hereby adopted with the amendments.
You'll pick up your license tomorrow. Okay? Thank you
No.
very much. Have a
Council
good
President, I think they should give us some time. Legal has to give us a new resolution. We have to do the road call, so I prefer finance, we'll give them a call.
Okay, so,
'Cause it's
Mr.
gonna
Martinez,
take a little
you're gonna
time.
receive a call from the clerk?
Yes.
When to pick it up?
It's not
Mr.
gonna be
Martinez,
ready
you'll
right
receive a phone call from the clerk.
What happened
When
to
to pick it up?
34? What
Okay?
happened with 34?
Okay.
Council President, what happened with 34?
With 34?
Next one is
Oh,
item
okay.
number 34?
Yes.
Next item is item number 34, and item number 34 reads resolution addressing a new coin-operated amusement device license for El Cantaro Liquors LLC, located at 416 Market Street in the 5th Ward, 1 pool table, finance resolution 22119.
Move.
Moved by Councilman Velez, do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Mims. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Discussion, just hold on for a minute.
Councilman, take over the meeting.
No, I just read something here, but, okay.
What is there to discuss, Councilman Velez? Go ahead.
No, I just read something here, but that's okay.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 34 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton?
Is this a pool table?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Is
ma'am.
But this is only a pool table, but isn't this the one that went past midnight?
You want to have a discussion?
Okay, no, I'm just wondering, because I think it went, well, he's in that, I can't think of the name, the business owner, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is for a pool table license.
Yeah, correct.
All right, my vote is yes.
Thank you.
That's a pool
Councilman
table.
Jackson?
Yes.
Okay, Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
With all the stress that we have in this city, you need to play pool or something, so my vote is yes.
Councilman Velez?
One thing I have to say is they have the business a block before where I live. They be conducting business the right way. When they pass in that time from that 12:10 at night is because they was not aware of the curfew that is from Straight Street all the way down to Madison, business curfew, but they got orientated and they been complying with the community and also with the quality of life in the area. One thing I gotta say is that to be able to perform any kind of event in there, please, you have to come to the city and request an entertainment license, okay? Band, DJs, or whatever. So make sure you do that too. So saying that, they are good neighbors, my vote is yes.
Mr. President?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. Item number 34 is hereby adopted. 35, Mr. President?
Yes, please. It's item 35.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Next item is item number 35 for approval, resolution addressing an entertainment / show license renewal for Bacchus Trading as Casanova, located at 176 Union Avenue in the 2nd Ward. Finance Resolution 22-120.
So moved.
Is anybody from Casanova is here? Sir.
Mr. President, I think we have a motion on the floor in a second, correct?
Moved by Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilman Velez.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Do you understand anything?
Yes, yes, sir.
Go ahead. We're listening.
Okay, we are in behalf of the owner, Ivan Taveras.
Give me 1 second. Raise your hand.
It's on.
Yeah, it is on. Go ahead.
Get close to the mic.
We are in behalf of the owner, Ivan Taveras, because he's on vacation.
Can you identify yourself, sir? Name and address?
My name is Pablo J. Madriga, and he's Guillermo Carranza. I'm living 4th Avenue, 86 4th Avenue, and he lives in 176 Union Avenue.
You live there, correct?
Correct.
Council colleague, we had a thorough discussion at the last meeting. They were under, as I recall, they were under the suspension. Their suspension has been done from the state. And I'm the councilman of the 2nd Ward. I was surprised to see the violations or they were suspended because I haven't seen any kind of big crowd or any complaint from this entity. There might have been, I think, like about 7 phone calls for service there. So it is your discretion to vote up or down.
Council President.
Councilman Velez, go ahead.
I just want to ask a question. This is the same gentleman that came the last time?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, sir.
We said last week.
Who was you or him?
No, Ivan, on the phone.
The owner, Ivan.
Online. But we closed last month for ABC.
Okay, so it was you that came in? You? Yes. Okay, you look different. Is that probably his call out? Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. So can I ask you a question? So your license is back to normal?
Yes.
When?
Is that it?
February 18 we started.
February 18? Do you have outstanding violation with police or ABC? Nothing?
Councilman Velez, this is the applicant that we had a deep discussion. Councilman Kalik had requested, he said not to approve.
Correct.
So after they were,
Suspension.
I believe
I'm sorry, Council President. After the suspension was moved by the state, so I did get some documentation from finance showing that at midnight, at 2 a.m. on the 18th,
Right.
The suspension was pulled.
Correct.
So we didn't put it on the last workshop, but the meeting before, you suggested once the suspension was pulled,
Right.
then we could bring it back to this meeting, and that's the reason why it's on here.
Correct.
But the suspension was pulled at 2 a.m. on the February 18th.
Correct, and that's why I always yield to the councilman of the ward. I give respect to each councilman and its ward, okay, and as that large, there's 3 of us that represent the entire city. So,
Can I finish what I was saying?
What I really want to do, Councilman, and the reason why I did that is because I don't think we need to have a discussion anymore. I want to take this to a vote, vote it up or down. We have council that we've been paying, but I apologize to you. We have DPW workers that have been waiting here as well. I want us to take action, so I don't think we don't need to have any more discussion. We know you were suspended for 98, you paid for 30, you were closed for 38, and now we're here now to support, up or down. Madam Clerk, if that's okay, roll call, Madam Clerk,
Yes,
on item
35. Yes, ma'am. Roll call on item number 35 for approval. Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
I want to say thank you because from the virtual meeting, you waited, you were patient, and you came back today. So I'm really happy to vote in favor of this. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Velez.
I wish Council President would do that with everybody in the council, like shut them down and not let them speak. All right, I just asking valid questions.
I wasn't shutting you
No,
down.
nothing like that, Council President.
No.
But you just say, let's move on. Just the same I said, we had the rights to bring you before a year. If something happens, if you conducting the wrong business, just to get the advice that we could revoke it if something happens, okay? So conduct your business, recover all those revenues that you lost in the time that you was closed, and give good service to the community, okay? Give back too, okay? My vote is yes.
Madam President.
So, this applicant is a little different, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you had violations and you paid for them. And you were shut down, okay? And I feel that, you know what, you've already paid. So therefore, you have another opportunity. And I believe I'm about opportunity, right? So if you're not being a friendly business, if your surrounding neighbors, and like I said, this applicant is different because where you're housed, you don't really have many residential homeowners in the area. But even with that, I need you to please, okay? You've heard here, I think you saw different scenarios today, all right? But on this one, I am gonna give you the opportunity, okay? And Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Madam President. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 35 is hereby adopted.
Okay. You have a good night.
You're good.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so we are done with that, right?
Yes,
We have
Madam
a-
President, we are finished with the
agenda,
entertainment.
the consent agenda?
We haven't done the consent agenda, but Madam Clerk, I need to pull from the consent agenda, item 12.
Okay.
No, you can't, I'm sorry. You-
When can I pick up a license?
I'm sure they'll give them a call.
You're gonna get a phone call, okay? I
Yes,
don't
sir.
think, I think that one's already prepared, right? There's
It's
no
already
amendments.
prepared, but we have to do the roll call and have it signed. So we will communicate with license and then we'll give him a call.
You'll get a phone call, okay?
Sometime tomorrow. Okay, good night, sir. You want to do the consent?
Yeah, we would need to remove, I'm removing
Number
item
12.
12 from the agenda.
Yes, Madam President. Next item is our consent agenda items. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. The items listed under the consent agenda are numbers 10 through 22. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda by the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. So at this time, we have
So moved.
item number 12 is removed from the consent agenda.
So
There's
moved.
Motion.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Mims and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on items 10 through 22, excluding 12.
Yes. Roll call on items 10 through 22, with the exception of item number 12. Councilwoman Cotton? Consent agenda items.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk. Can you just pass for a minute?
Will it pass?
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton has
I'm
to
back
come back.
again. Where everybody went?
Councilwoman.
My vote is yes.
Your vote is yes.
Yep.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. Items 10 through 22, with the exception of item number 12, is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, before the executive, I'm going to take item 23.
23?
23?
Yes.
No, we have to wait until after the executive session.
I'm sorry? Executive, are we discussing that executive?
No, we didn't go to executive yet. We have to get into executive session first.
All right, so council members, we could, as council president, we could request that the executive session for that item be waived unless you want to go into executive session.
Can we stay
But
here?
we could
Stay
just
here.
have a roll call on it and not have to do an executive session. We could waive that
What do you mean?
for this item, because I know we have something else.
So if we waive it, can we get a brief overview?
Are you
of-
okay? Right, it'll be a quick
Okay.
overview,
Yes.
right?
Huh? No, I didn't know what,
Councilwoman, we can waive the executive session, not have to go, get a quick synopsis, right?
No, the purpose of the executive session is to do the synopsis. All the contract information is being done through executive session. So you might recall, we did that with motor pool, with crossing guards. We hold executive sessions, discuss.
Right, but we have the right to waive it. We don't have to have it if we don't want it.
Right, but it's not something that we should be discussing the ins and outs of
Okay,
publicly.
okay. Then I take that back. So
And
at
that's
this
what our
time,
council is here for.
we have to go into executive session. Yeah. So I don't want you to leave
But
this there because we're gonna come take action after. So if you gentlemen will be kind enough to have a seat outside, we're gonna have the discussion here and then we'll take action.
Council President, before anyone leave the chambers, I have to read the item into the record.
Okay.
And take a roll call, and then they can leave after, those who are not associated. So next item is item number 8, resolution for executive session at 8 p.m. Resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the city council chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss the memorandum of agreement between the city of Paterson and AFSMCME Local 2272, DPW Blue Collar for July 1, 2019 through December 31st, 2022. Administration, Resolution 22093.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilwoman Cotton. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to go into
Yes.
executive session.
Roll call to enter into executive session for item number 8. Councilwoman Khan? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The executive session is now open for item number 8. Anyone who's not associated with this matter may ask to leave the chambers at this time. Council President, we have to make sure Mr. Ming shuts down everything
Yes,
before.
he's actually waving at me.
Yes.
Please turn down. And officers, if you can stand outside, please.
And I did ask Mr.